All right, who's ready for the Dirt Life Show?
Yeah. Welcome, everybody, to this fabulous episode number 99 of the Dirt Life Show. We are so stoked to have you guys joining us on this Monday night. Like I said, episode 99, we have the guys from DP4 Off-Road Racing Series tonight. We have both Tommy and Ryan, Tommy Russell and Ryan Sanders from DP4. Both these guys have been doing a fantastic job creating this DP4 series. Lots of side-by-side racing. I know a lot of you guys have joined their series. So welcome, boys. How are you guys?
Cheers. Great. So happy to be here. It's exciting. It's fun to get in front of the world here.
I appreciate you guys coming in. One thing that I wanted to say was if you guys run your racing organization anything like the way that our communication was with the show, it's got to be fantastic because you guys were prepared more than 99% of our guests, man. It was awesome.
I think I threw it together Sunday night about 9 o'clock and got it all going here. Yeah, no, we're stoked to be a part and happy that you want to share us with the world. It's a cool platform here, and you and I talked earlier. You got some pretty awesome racing history behind yourself, so
yeah, well,
just stoked to be here with you.
I appreciate that, man. I really think it's cool what you guys are doing, and we'll get into it a little bit more, but let's kind of go through some of the beginning stuff of the show. We got a bunch of stuff that's going to happen today. I'm Georgie Hamill, your host of the Dirt Life Show, so thank you guys very much for joining us. We are at IMG Motorsports today. We got a lot of stuff in the background, so you might not be able to see any of these side-by-sides, but thank you very much to James and his whole crew for letting us have the show at his shop.
Even though Tommy's yelled at him, right? We heard that, or not James, but one of the shop mates over here.
Yeah,
was it James?
It
was James.
I'm known as the guy in the T-Rex.
Yeah.
The red T-Rex. You yell a lot.
Yeah.
So, do you remember what he got yelled at for? Was he speeding through a pit lane?
Had to be pit speed. Had to be.
Yeah, it's always speed. So speed kills.
Oh, man. All right, Jason, I'm not sure if YouTube's still having issues, but go ahead and check. We had to restart the feed, so it might be another link or something. So go ahead and go to the Dirt Life Show page and then on YouTube and then click the latest one that we have up there as our live feed. So thank you very much to the guys at IMG Motorsports. We're going to talk a lot about grassroots racing tonight. There's a lot of people that always ask the show how they can get into side-by-side racing. Well, the first thing we always suggest is go, hang out with a team and help out, maybe work on the cars in their garage, whatever it is, and then go out and pre-run with them, and then maybe go out and chase with them and things like that. And now you have the opportunity to race in an awesome series like DP4 as well. So you can do that. We're going to talk about a lot about that tonight. We're going to have Brooke Demon calling in at 5:25. She actually won her first DP4 race that she raced with you guys. So it'll be cool to get a youngster's perspective. And we also have Jason Hess, which is one of your guys' supporting partners with Liquid Moly Power Sports. He's going to be calling in, so we'll talk a little bit about the business-to-business portion of the operation. And, one of our favorite guys on the planet, Chris Blaze, is going to call in just after the commercial break at 6 o'clock. He's a DP4 racing champion, I hear.
He is a champion, and he's a mentor to all of us and a good friend. So absolutely.
He's a phantom of the desert.
Dude, that's an understatement, right? Douglas Allen already commented in and said DP4 is the best, so thank you very much. We got a bunch of people over here on YouTube saying, Holden. And actually, that's from a different show. Sorry,
We'll still answer the questions.
But we want you guys to have all your questions ready because there's so many things that people ask us about off-road racing that we want to be able to help with. You guys are our lifeblood. We love having you guys join us every single Monday night because you guys are the ones that support the show. You guys are the ones that have the questions for all of our guests. And today is now your opportunity to ask questions to the people that run the racing series that you guys are going to join. So please have all your questions ready and join us. We want to thank you guys again for joining us. And you can always, if you can't join us live, you can always look at us and listen to us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram now, and iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, all of those audio networks as well. We kind of talked about it before, Ryan. It's hard to consume these long pieces of content, but it is available if you guys are on long drives, commuting.
On your way out to the race this weekend, you can listen to the whole podcast here.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like we got Rob McLogan. He's also a Lick Molly representative. Love what the side-by-sides have done for off-road racing. They've made it affordable and relatable again. Yeah, it's really cool, man. Stuff like that keeps it alive. I couldn't agree more. What about you guys?
Yeah, I mean, I think that was kind of our target, was to let the new people come in and have a chance to race. And these side-by-sides give you the feel of a trophy truck at the budget of like 3/4 of a trophy truck for a lot of these guys. But yeah, they're pretty cool machines, and we're just trying to give that platform where they've got the chance to come out and try them, right, Tommy?
Yeah, we definitely wanted to set it up for a family atmosphere, and I think we hit the mark with our marketing and the people that came into this, and they're learning a lot of information from us. And then the great thing is they're learning a lot of information from the other racers who came in.
Yeah.
Especially like Chris Blaze who came in. John Conley came in and so forth like that. A lot of veteran people, and they're willing to help and teach anybody else who doesn't know anything. I mean, we've had father and son teams, dad and brothers, and so forth like that, and husband and wife, and it's really a good family atmosphere, and that's what we wanted. We wanted the low stress situation.
That's literally what racing is all about. That's 90% of the reason why we actually started the Dirt Life show, is because we all live in the dirt like that. We love it so much, Before we get into our full conversations, I just want to just thank all you guys again, man. I can't say it enough how much we appreciate you guys. You guys can go to sponsor deals on the dirtlifeshow.com. We have a whole bunch of cool stuff over there that you guys can save a whole bunch of money with our partners, as well as even trying to get your own sponsors if you want to go out and race a series like DP4. We have Meet the Sponsors with Alex Streiler. We have a link on there that you can click on, and it'll tell you how to get sponsored by 90% of the people that are out there that you want to get sponsored by. He has episodes every Tuesday that you guys can check out as well. That like last Tuesday, he had Brett Carpenter from Polaris on, and they laid out the whole foundation, how you can get sponsored by Polaris. It's pretty cool, man. So he's doing a really good job, and you can go to Dirt Life Show and click on dirtlifeshow.com and click on sponsor deals. And man, it's awesome to get that information. I wish I had that when I was racing professionally as well. Thank you to the guys over at Shock Therapy. Justin and the guys have been a part of the Dirt Life show since day one. I know that there's a bunch of guys that use their suspension products that are racing the DP4 series as well. You can use the code DIRTLIFE at shocktherapyusa.com and save a whole bunch of money over there, or just tell them that Dirt Life sent you when you give them a call and schedule for your suspension revalve and ride improvement system. Thank you to the guys at KMC Wheels for being a part of the show since day one as well. Just saw their logo go on in the background. Thank you guys at EFX Tires as well. They are going to be doing a contest for the Sand Sports Super Show coming up. And one of you guys is going to win a brand new set of paddle tires from EFX, man. Those things are bitching. So stay tuned on our social media for that, and you can win some brand new set of paddle tires before you get dune season here. Thank you guys over at Zollinger Racing Products. You can use the code THEDIRTLIFE at ZollingerRacingProducts.com. They make insane products for side-by-sides and UTVs. I know a lot of guys are actually using Zollinger Racing Products to use in the DP4 series as well. Thank you guys over at CryoHeat. Josh and all his team over there make some insane stuff. The product that we talk about most for those guys is the Pro Mod transmission that they make for the Razors and for the Can-Ams. Those things reduce the weight in those transmissions immensely, as well as treating all the metals and just having a fantastic product. The less rolling resistance that you have in the side-by-side, the better with those low horsepower motors. So give those guys at CryoHeat a call. And thank you guys at Solder Weld for helping us out since day one as well. You can get a nice welding blanket like the one here with a little cut in it to do repairs at the track, on the trail. And you can also get an off-road repair kit. Just go to solderweld.com and use the code DIRTLIFE and save a whole bunch of money on that. Okay, well, thank you guys very much for supporting our partners, because they're the ones that support us, so we can have you guys watch the show, man. You guys have a bunch of partners that support you guys as well. One of the guys is going to call in is Jason Hess.
I think we're going to have a fundraiser for you to get shoes.
Oh, come on. I live at the beach. I wear sandals, all right?
Are you known for being the desert guy with sandals
on? Probably, yeah. You know what? I have driving shoes, which I'm wearing right now.
Yeah.
And I have work boots at work, and sometimes when I'm in the desert, most of the time it's driving shoes, and
Does anybody get yelled at for not wearing their racing shoes when they're out on the track because this guy's not?
Nah.
No, I have shoes on when I'm working, I guess, for most of the time. And I feel like when Patty's around, she always calls me out for the sandal thing. But
Patty Blaze is
you
gotta for the sandal.
You gotta be comfortable. I live at the beach. It's hot out. I gotta keep my toes tanned, and
heck yeah.
I have pants on today. Yeah. That's kind of a rarity. So
so we're all living in the dirt. He's all bougie over here.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So we're gonna get into talking about a bunch of stuff, and like I said, see, there's Patty. She's probably already giving you crap.
She says he's never in pants. I put pants on because I want to be presentable. Yeah, for Patty.
We already have a couple comments that have come in. Douglas Allen also said that you have a very challenging 30-mile race course. Is that just one of the races that you guys have had?
No, I think he's saying that our styles, we do like 5 30-mile loops, and we're definitely not, not to knock any other series because everyone's got their own thing, but we're definitely not fire roads wide open. I mean, you're not going to get the score feel with us. It's going to be a lot tighter, twisty, just as difficult, maybe not 500 miles, but it's going to be a long day or night of racing. You're going to get your money's worth. And that's kind of our goal.
Yeah, and we'll talk about this a little bit more in the show, but like there's a lot of positives to that too, especially for newbie racers, right? Because they're never too far away from wherever they're at, wherever their team is at.
Yeah, everybody's in our grasp to get to real quick.
Yeah, exactly. For safety, for recovery, for any of that stuff. So it's pretty cool that you guys have that. Love me some DP4 racing, says Joey Berg. Joey Berg also said, at least they are flip-flops, not mandals. I don't even know what mandals are. What are mandals?
I don't know. These are rainbows, so,
Are mandals Crocs? Is that what he's trying to get at?
Maybe. Probably. I don't know. I don't own a pair of Crocs. Sorry.
That's awesome. Rick Smith says, DP4 is the reason I race off-road. Tommy, Ryan, and Steve do it right. Very organized, safe, and most of all, fun. Well, we're going to talk about some of that stuff as well. Here we go. Max has already given you guys shit. He wants to race his RS1 in the
is he going again?
class. Yeah, he's already coming on, giving you guys
dear
crap.
Lord Max.
Rusty Demon's also calling in or chiming in, saying, "I will contribute to the Ryan Shoe Fund."
There we go. I'll get a new pair of rainbows. I'm about ready. Yeah.
Hey, Rusty, if you come out, you do have to come to California.
So I have a feeling that the underlying portion of the show is just going to be Ryan's
It's the underlying portion of my life is everybody ragging on me. I don't know. It's all right.
Oh, that's funny.
I'm thick-skinned. I'll take it.
I don't know how Atinza. I don't know how to say your name, but says it's a fabulous time. Yeah. Oh man, so I can't wait to have a good show with you guys tonight. This is going to be really cool to talk about all this stuff. Me as a racer in general, I had no idea when I was starting my side-by-side racing what I was going to do, how I was going to do it. At the time, Lucas Regionals were in effect, and that was a perfect launching platform for me. I think if I was going to have chosen the desert route, I would have wanted to have more options than just Best in the Desert, and you guys are providing that now.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's pretty cool that that you guys do actually have that. One of the things that I wanted to talk about tonight, before we get into the series and a lot of these people's questions, but why did you guys want to create a racing series like DP4? I mean, that's no joke, dude. That's not a small task.
Well, I'm going to let Tommy answer that. Before he does, I want to mention that the third member of our team isn't here, Steve Argubright. Steve brought us together and has helped finance the early days of DP4 and maybe continually finance every day of DP4. But Steve has been a big driving force in trying to put together a professional, organized, exciting, fun, family-friendly racing atmosphere. And so with him, we've kind of got an idea, and the three of us have spent a lot of time together. We're in a motorcycle club. We've raced all over the country really together, and I don't know. We just kind of had the perfect fit, right, Tommy? What do you think?
Yeah, no, it just Steve, basically came up with the concept, excuse me, of making it fun, but also at an entry level where people can actually come and learn to race. People that will help them and so forth like that, where it's not that complicated. The safety factors are there with our rollover crew and so forth, and the helicopter and ambulance. Everything is pretty well professional. And the one thing that we did, we tried to be unique, was instead of doing everything on GPS, we went from kind of our grassroots, marking the course with ribbon.
Right.
So we don't give out a GPS or anything like that. So you have to pay attention to the desert. We kind of see that, that's a lost skill of reading the land when you're racing. A lot of people just want to floor it. And, usually that doesn't win the race. It's the one who can read the terrain, when to floor it, when not to, when to use finesse just to get through a small section, because that small section can get you. Even though our courses are not tough, you don't have to get out. You don't need a spotter or a winch or anything like that. But it teaches people about racing, and I think that's what really drives them to come see us.
I think that's a real good reason why. Well, first of all, it's a good reason why Chris Blaze does so well in that series, because he's got so much experience. But it really does bring back the I don't know what you want to call it, the grassroots or the fundamental desert racing that was started back in the day.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's what we looked at, and with our buddy Steve Augerbright, it's like, who's doing anything for the entry level guy, the beginning guy, the family people who want to race, but they can't do a race every month and so forth like that. So we sat down and tailor-made everything. Doing 6 races, not 12 races. And usually it's always a family event. And there's also finances tied into that. So why make it expensive? Don't get me wrong, it's a business. We're here to make money, but we're here to build a business and trust with our customers.
Yeah. And I think that anyone that knows the Argybright family, or specifically my friend, their son Jacob Argybright, Steve and Cheryl did a great job raising him to be a steward of the desert and a friend of all. I mean, he won Vegas to Reno last week with Dalton, and he's won Hare and Hound championships.
Yep.
But he's the most humble kid. If I'm the very last one to finish a race, he'll stay there till the end to help me load my bike. He might make fun of me while he's doing it, but
for wearing sandals?
For wearing sandals and finishing last probably. But they've raised him to be that kind of guy that's just there to help everybody, and it's evidenced in the Hare and Hound series that him and his wife Megan are running with the whole team at NHHA. And I think he wanted to kind of use the platform of side-by-sides because there is a lot of brand new people getting into off-road that are buying side-by-sides that know nothing about it.
Yeah, exactly.
And I learned how to ride real trails by racing. You learn by going places you wouldn't normally go, and racing takes you those spots. You know what I mean?
100%. We had a comment come in that said Ryan and Tommy are great dudes. Holden loves racing that series. Desert Squadron said, I love the fact that the course is chasing ribbon, old school style. Yeah, this is what you were talking about, right, Tommy?
Yeah. I mean, we've had actually some pros come in, not to do this series, but it was actually good practice for them. They said, look, I want to start in the back.
Right.
Because this series, we don't allow nerfing.
Right.
So I have to practice passing people. And he goes, this is a great opportunity for that. And he goes, I would recommend it to anybody.
Yeah.
We've had a couple that said, I want to bring my kids here.
Yeah.
This is where they need to start, because, no nerfing and stuff like that. And they have to, hone their skills. And then if they want to go up into the bigger league situation, they got a good foundation. They got a basis on that, and they know what to expect.
Well, and you also got to take into consideration that not everybody can race a whole Best in the Desert series. Like a lot of the guys that are in the industry, James from IMG Motorsports here, Ryan at KMC Wheels, all of those guys, they do big races. They do the Baja 500, they do the 1000, they do a lot of these Best in the Desert races. But they've also participated in your guys' races as well because it's something that they have time to do because they may not get time off of work, and they can still go out and do it too.
Yeah, I mean, when you see people go out there and do another series, it takes a lot of logistics and funding to do one race, and then you go out there, and then 15 minutes you're out of the race for whatever the reason is. Where you come out to our event, the cost factor helps out a lot, and so forth with that.
I like the term low barriers to entry, right? Like
Yeah.
It doesn't take a lot or cost a lot to get into one of our races.
Right. And so you could try it out and see if you like it or not and so forth. And if you want to use this, do the series, or you want to build up your skills to go on to other series, we're the platform for you.
Yeah, it looks like we also got another guy just joined the Legacy Racing Series is also joining us, hanging out too.
Yeah,
so
and it's an interesting thing because we launched at the same time as Legacy, and we both, if you're watching, I'm going to say this, I know nothing about you guys except what I've read, but we both have similar backgrounds. You guys are working with another organization. We have a lot of experience with dirt bike races, so you all know how to do races. And when you start something new from the ground up, you can pick and choose what's worked and what hasn't.
Yeah.
And I know Legacy is doing the same thing, and we're trying to tailor it the way that we like it. Like, for an example, we've done a lot of racing on Sundays, and Sundays are great, but Saturdays are so much better because you can bench race all night when it's a Saturday race. If it's a Sunday, you're rushing home to get the car cleaned up and back to work the next day. So just those little weird things. So it's cool to see Legacy on here, and I'm watching everything you guys do too. I mean, we're all supporters. The term "a rising tide raises all ships," so we want to see them do well and hope that we do well.
The side-by-side market is growing so fast. I mean, still, we're just still in the infant stage. I mean, we're 12 years, 15 years into when side-by-sides were invented, but we're still in the infant stages, and it's
barely
growing.
Scratching the surface.
Oh my God, you're right, Tommy. Like it's crazy, and for me to just see Legacy, you guys putting such a good effort forward for everybody that wants to do this stuff is phenomenal. Like we've all had our finger on DP4 for a long time, so it's really cool to see you guys come on the show finally and us be able to talk about it. Brooke is going to call in just a little bit here, but before she calls in, we'll get to a couple of the comments that have come in. Zach Pitts actually asked something off subject. Since you are at IMG Motorsports, are they going to do any giveaways or throwing out any products or deals? The guys at IMG actually do have some stuff that they can help you with the Dirt Life code. So give them a call, talk to James, and tell them that the Dirt Life referred you over, and they can help you out, man. We're gonna get Brooke on the horn here and talk with her a little bit about winning her first DP4 race. It should be pretty cool to see what she says, man. I would imagine that she was pretty fired up about it.
Check out that hat they've got on there. I like it.
Yeah. Oh, you got the whole crew. Hi, guys.
Tommy, Ryan, it's good to see you.
Hey, you guys too. Welcome. Thanks.
How are you guys doing?
Doing pretty good.
We're supporting us some DP4 is what we're doing right now.
Heck yeah. So we just talked about the grassroots stuff. I didn't know she was going to bring the whole family on, but talk about grassroots. That's perfect, right?
I mean, I don't know that I've seen her without the whole family. That's the whole thing about this series. People like these guys.
I don't think she's
they
allowed
come
to walk
together
alone
and-
by herself.
That's not what I mean here, Tommy, but Jesus.
So
No, but
George,
it's a total family
George.
thing. They're a great example of that.
Absolutely. What's that, Rusty?
I have a story to tell on Tommy.
Yeah. Is it about flip-flops?
Is it yelling?
No, that's Ryan and the flip-flops, and I will contribute to the Ryan Shoe Fund.
It's going to be a new pair of rainbow sandals, just so y'all know here.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
I want to put unicorns on it.
Tommy invited us 2 years ago to come down. Brooke had never raced a desert race. And Tommy brought us down, treated us like gold, the way he treats everybody. I did not know Ryan at that point. I did not know Steve at that point. And they represented themselves to us as true appreciation for the sport. And so much so that Tommy and I went and cleaned course after the race was over.
Yeah.
Wow.
But
Yeah.
the story I want to tell is Tommy, when I brought Brooke down, she was running it alone. And Tommy was upset with me. And I asked Tommy, I said, Tommy, did you go 2 up on a motorcycle your first desert race? He goes, no. I said, Tommy, how is she going to learn to read the course, do the job, and bring a car back? And Tommy came to me, he talked to her, and he came to me and he said, we're going to put the chase driver right behind her, and if she has any trouble. He rolled up on lap 1. She started 19th. She came in and she was in 9th.
Whoa.
Overall. Tommy rolled up to me in this little Kenda Tire sponsored mama and said, ask and answer. Thank you.
Wow.
So for me, it's a respect thing. Ryan, Steve, Tommy, all respect the sport of racing. And we support DP4 very much. We chose this year to run a BITD run. It's the only year that they will actually issue a championship to a rally class. Next year, the rules are going to change. Tommy, you spoke of funding. Funding is always an issue. If you two have noticed, Brooke supports you and heavily shares you.
She really does, yeah. Thank you. We're lucky with that, Brooklyn. We are.
And so when the money runs out for going to racing and you have to make hard choices, I'll put it to you like this. Those 2 gentlemen sitting with you, George, are our friends, and I knew they would understand.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
And we also know that when you guys have a weekend off, you're going to go over there too.
For sure. I try to make it out there. I mean, even though I'm not racing, I'm still showing a presence and supporting Tommy and Ryan and Steve. And it's they were pretty much my first desert race. Like before I got into BITD, they were my first desert race, and they made me learn respect for the desert because they don't give you a GPS, and I ran it alone. So I had to learn how to race in the desert and learn lines because I was a little works racer where, I mean, it's all groomed and everything. So going to DP4 and having to learn how to read and be by yourself, it's made me a better driver who I am today.
Yeah, I can only imagine. What did you guys think when? I'm sure that there's more examples other than just Brooklyn, but like when you have a young driver like that, and Tommy, you have to make the executive decision to say, okay, Rusty, well, you know, I'm going to learn by you guys. We'll keep track of it and stuff like that. But how does it make you feel when they show you that success ratio?
Oh, I think it's awesome. I mean, you know, when her and I, you know, went off to the side there and we had a little talk, and you know, she was very mature. She was very focused, and that's what you know, just triggered me. She was focused, and I said, okay, to myself, she's going to do very well. And you know, and the whole thing with us, we're not very territorial with, you know, our customer base or our racers and stuff like that. We get excited when they go to other series and stuff like that. And Brooklyn will tell you, I'll text her or Dad and call us like, where you starting? You know, how'd you do? And so forth like that. You know,
nice.
Just because it's like, I know her.
Yeah.
I know her.
You're passionate about it.
Yeah. And, you know, people will come and go and they'll come back and they're doing their own thing. And it's really nice to see that. You know, we get excited when we see our racers go out and try other fields. It's like, that's what we want to be. We want to be that catalyst in the middle there. And if they want to go venture out and they do better, we're cheering them on. It's like, yeah, go. You had to start somewhere, like the old, you know, NASCAR guys. They're all racing dirt track.
Yeah.
They started somewhere, and you can say, I know that person. That's a good racer.
And it comes full circle, too. That's a great example to use is the NASCAR stuff. All of those guys have, let's just say, a 5 to 8 year window, right, of racing in the professional series. They all go back.
Right.
And they race dirt track series. They all go hang out with the people that supported them and the people that were giving them what they got, you know, to be a professional. So it's really cool that you guys are doing that. And it shows a lot of your guys' gumption, right? Like it shows a lot of what you guys care about. You guys aren't just there for the paycheck. Obviously, you have to make money for the series, but you guys are there to support the people that are supporting you guys.
This is our fun. Like, these are my friends. Like, I'm looking at the names on here, and Tyler Stewart and Brooklyn and Douglas Allen. These are Joey Berg. These are people that I text with during the week. That it feels so good. And I know, Brooklyn, you had success before you came to us. You won a Works Championship, right?
Right.
Yeah, she's just all around badass.
So you showed up to us, and you hadn't done a desert race, but you know how to drive a car. And so to see that you finish Vegas to Reno and to see how well you do and to see people like you, and you're not the only one. I'm saying Tyler's name again because he's right there. He just finished Vegas to Reno. It really feels good if it's a 40-year-old man or an 18-year-old girl to see them springboard out of our series and use us as a chance to grow, because that's what we want to be. And as you do well, we're going to do well. Like the Kelly brothers, they went to UTV Worlds.
Oh, yeah.
And they've told me this story so many times that they couldn't believe people were asking for their autographs because we shared a few photos of them, right? They did well at a couple races, and it really makes us as an organization feel good to see that springboard happen. And so I commend you on your racing efforts this year, and we're proud of you just as much as we would if you were with us. So.
Ryan, to give you an example, because of your guys' series, we met the Kelly brothers and Joe, the dad. And when we were searching for co-pilots, Brady Kelly came and got in Brooke's car and was a co-pilot while she was learning how to transition from that Works single car, single driver deal into a co-run car. And had we not run your series, we would have never met the Bradys and the Dylans and the Joes and the Kimbers and all the family. It's not just the one that's a talent. It was, we met the whole family.
And with DP4, like you guys don't count on the number. Like a racer is not a number to you guys. It's a family. Like you join, it's an instant family, and you feel the family love. Like you're not just another racer to DP4 on a number.
That makes me feel so good. That's like like I said before to these guys, Brooke, is like, that's the reason that the Dirt Life show exists, because we all have that same passion, right? Like, I didn't start the show for any other reason exactly why you guys started your guys' organization, is because of all the people around that care so much about playing in the dirt, right? I mean, it's funny when we talk about it, but it's true.
Oh, desert people are great. I love it. It just,
Desert people, it sounds like the hills have eyes.
Yeah, no, it is. But, it's just everybody's helping each other. It's like Sean Bigme when his pit boss, Pork Chop. Oh, good old Pork Chop. I hope he's on here. While Sean was out running around in his Arctic Cat, Pork Chop was running up and down the pits with his gun, his impact gun, helping change tires on other vehicles. He didn't know who they were.
Really?
He was just
helping out?
Just having a good time. And
yeah.
And something that I think is cool about off-road, and specifically off-road, and I'll give a couple examples why I think this. So throughout the years, I played sports, and I played high school baseball and football, and I've had professional athletes as neighbors who are great people, and currently I'm into sailing. I sail competitively at a very, very amateur level, but you get to meet a lot of pros and see the pros in the yacht clubs after the events. And in no other industry, sailing, any professional sport, anywhere, can you as an amateur racer or amateur participant be side by side with a pro like Chris Blaze, like Ricky Brabeck, any of these names you can mention? They'll give you every little bit of info they can. They'll help you. They'll wrench on your bike or your car or whatever. And off-road is such a family because I think we all recognize that we all need each other to survive. The Destry Abbotts of the world don't get popular and famous in racing if they don't have the Ryan Sanders to look up to them. You know what I mean? And so we have this family out here, and it's just such a great group of people. It's so fun. And all the names I keep seeing chiming up here, I mean, it's literally a family. We all know the struggles we have. We all help each other. We all relish in the excitement when we do well. It's just such a cool group, I
think Brooke and Rusty, you can probably agree with this. I can barely see Mom in the background, but or I don't know. Who is that?
That's Zachary.
Oh, okay. Now I can see him.
Hey, Zach.
That's
Hey, Zach. I could only see
like
his
an eye, maybe.
I could only see his right eye, but now it looks like I can see him the whole time. Sorry, Zach. But anyways, I think you guys can all agree with me, Zach, Brooke, and Rusty, that when you have that camaraderie and when you see all of that stuff happening, it makes you want to be a part of it way more.
Oh, for us, and I mean this with the greatest of respect, but a race association has to be open, but it has to be somewhat of a dictatorship. It has to have a lead guy that takes the hits and does the job. Right, wrong, bad, good. Tommy Russell is amazing at this. I was taught by Casey Folks, God rest his soul, but I was always threatened with a Whistle Dick Award. When it comes to Tommy Russell, he's a little more articulate than Casey was, but I watched Tommy do something at her first race, and they have a beautiful tradition, George, that you would absolutely love. After every race, we have a potluck dinner.
Yeah. Yep.
So we gather at one of the team's trailers, and everybody brings a side dish, and we eat very well. And it was so funny because Tommy's sitting there, he's enjoying his dinner, and everybody was bitching about a certain portion of the course. And Tommy's just sitting there eating. He's hearing it, but he's not acknowledging it. And finally somebody kind of stepped up a little bit. Because you know how racers are. They want to be heard. And Tommy just turned around, looked at him, and he goes, just a minute. He looked over at Brooke, and he said, Brooke, did you have trouble in that section of the course? She goes, no. She goes, you just slow down, you do that portion of the course, and then you put it back in gear and get on down the road. And Tommy looked across the deal and said, if a first-time racer can figure out how to do that portion of the course, I guess you can figure it out.
Yeah, put his ego in check, huh?
Well, and for me, growing up in the sport with motorcycles, and I've raced against Tommy in the past, and it's been years when we were both a lot thinner and a lot more in shape. But more of the point is the fact that we do it for the love of doing it. And to watch her get into a car and be able to go compete with some of the best in the industry, the Ricky Bravecks, the Chris Blazes, the Sarah Prices. You guys have a unique niche of racers that come to play in a world that is open, and you guys have exploited it to the right degree.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Hey, I gotta let Brooke know that her ponytail is just getting all up in Zach's face.
Yeah, you like it? Yeah.
It's 102 here in Vegas, and we got the swamp cooler on in the shop, so the ponytail is
Nice.
fine.
What you guys didn't know, he just lowered my seat.
Oh,
uh-oh.
Yeah, you're welcome. No problem.
He just got you. Talk about helping out. Pit crew challenge right there. Hey, so we got a comment in from Rick Smith, and he kind of is talking about some similar things, but a little bit more about the safety of the racing stuff. He said the rollover crew and flaggers are important safety aspect of the DP4 series. I speak from experience. When things are going good, you don't have to think about them much. However, when things go sideways, you can't put a dollar amount on the help when you need it. And that's a really good point. And I've always had my questions about every racing series and their safety precautions. So maybe you guys, actually, let's let Brooke say it first, and then you guys can give her opinion. Then you guys can answer it.
Go for it.
So, like, one of my last races with DP4, like, my brain and my right foot were not connected. So I took a corner way too fast, and
Like Zach back there, nod his head yes.
Yeah. But I had a rollover, and I will say that was the fastest crew. They, like, during the race, they got me back to the pits. Like, nobody was hurt, thank goodness. But their rollover crew was amazing, and they got that broken car back, the car that's right behind us, back to the pits, and was able to fix it. So they were on spot.
Man, that is super cool. And anytime you need safety or you need recovery, I mean, that stuff is so important, and people overlook that a lot.
Yeah, and we really pride ourselves, and it's absolutely Tommy's baby. Tommy came up with this idea for the rock crew, and like I said, we're in a motorcycle club, so we have a lot of friends. We've been going to the desert for years, and we recruited some of them. And Tommy's stepson, or whatever Greg is too,
Yeah,
Greg
Dan.
is absolutely part of the team, and Greg kind of leads that group right now. But we have some of the best recovery people. And granted, they're working on a 30-mile race course. We're not doing a 500-mile Vegas to Reno, so it's a lot different than some of these other organizations. But we really, our crew is so good about staying on top of their section and keeping people moving. And honestly, like, one of my jobs is the social media, and I struggle. It's hard to get any content out in the middle of the desert. But if I could strap a GoPro on one of these guys' heads to see the things the rock crew guys do, I mean, it's incredible. The tight situations they get these cars out of, like Brooklyn when she rolled over, or dealing with injuries like Rick's talking about. I mean, you need to be able to respond as quickly as possible and assess the need. And for probably all of us, the need is not for me to touch a patient. It's to contact our rescue crew and get them out to deal with what needs to happen. And they do a great job at that. They really do.
It's like even, I think on that same night, Stuart rolled too, didn't he?
Yeah, Tyler can chime in and tell
Tyler
us.
rolled in, and Gregory was nearby, and Stuart said that, you guys are faster than Domino's Pizza. It's like, you know what? I think I'm going to try to hit up Domino's and try to see if I get a sponsorship for these guys. They all could be running around with Domino Pizza signs lit on the top of their vehicles.
Hey, look at you guys, right? Eric Ludwig also commented in and said, ROC crew is awesome. They get it done and make us feel safe when we send the kids out there racing. Thank you, guys and gals. That's actually a really good compliment, man, because one of the best things is making sure that you take care of the racers.
Yeah, well, this guy's talking about Xander, I think, and if Xander's 18, I'd be surprised. And it's two young kids in a car at night races in the middle of the dark at midnight, and the fact that the parents allow the kids to come out first of all is cool, and that there is that much confidence. I mean, my tail's on the line here. If somebody gets hurt or something happens at one of these races, and to have the rock crew members out there to look after people is just such a huge clutch thing to have.
For me, it's like time is everything. So, I mean, you can't have, per se, like everybody says, you want a cop in every corner. You can't do that. But with our logistics, with our radio relay with Rob there up there, kind of big eye in the sky, and they're working together with a team with the Rock Crew, with, with Gregory and Pete and Ron and Wesley and Wiley and Joe and so forth. They work really well, and they know the desert, and they know the importance of getting to those individuals, either to get them back up and running. They'll help them do that sometimes and get the vehicles flipped over, or, just the communications of where they're at. They're great people. I mean, I'm so lucky to know these guys. They go out there and they put everything, and these guys are volunteers.
Yeah.
So they're kind of basically working out of a tip jar, and they get flats, they break things and stuff like that. But they will stay there till 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning just to make sure you get out of the desert.
Yeah, that's amazing. How old were you when you first started? Because Eric said that Xander is 16 years old. When were you? What was your first race, Brooke? You
I
remember?
was 16.
16.
Because it was in 2019, September?
Yeah, so I'm sure there's a lot more younger kids as well, too.
And that's one of the things we struggle with. And so I'm excited to have this platform because there's so much to DP4 that the rest of you don't see or don't understand, or it's maybe not relevant. And we get people asking all the time, Ruslan, this kid's a really awesome driver, but there's a law in California. You can't be on public lands and be under 16 years old and drive a side-by-side. And so as much as I'll break every law, I can't break the laws because I'm the one that's in trouble. And if something goes wrong, it's going to be a major issue. So I'm sure there's so many young kids that are getting the chance to drive the car where they can safely with their parents now that are like Brooklyn is here. When you turn 16, these guys are going to be a force to reckon with. So,
yeah, right.
So, I mean, I'd love to have a youth series. I'd love to try to get some younger kids. It's just hard right now, unfortunately. And I roll my eyes because I'm frustrated in that. There's not a great option yet for side-by-side racing.
Yeah, and it's not because of your decision either. It's a lot of California law, BLM. It's all kinds of different stuff. But
George, I want to speak to Ryan and his integrity.
Nice.
We came down. We ran a race, and we had a major malfunction before we ever even started the race. And we had already entered. We had paid. And so when the next race came along, we showed up. I went in to do my registration like we do at every race. And Ryan looked at me and he goes, "You're already covered." And I says, "What do you mean?" And he said, "You paid us for the last race and never took the start. So we rolled that over."
Wow, that's
cool.
No,
we do that. We do that for everybody because it's what you got to do. You guys are you're my peeps. I got to take care of you, right?
Right.
Well, and that speaks to, I mean, I've kind of bragged on my big boy Tommy over here, but I gotta give a huge shout out to Ryan Sanders because the integrity he stands for, and the man that stands there and is sitting there with his legs crossed and flip flops
sandals on one of these legs.
He is a man, and he says what he means. He means what he says, and he does what he says he's going to do. And when you can bring three people together, Tommy, Ryan, and Steve together, and you have three individuals that stand up for what they say, it makes it pretty damn easy to want to go race with them. It really does. And we look forward to looking at the 2022 season and bringing Phoenix or the Phoenix 2.0 back to DP4. We are currently chasing a championship in another race series, and we have devoted everything we are to it. That being said, that doesn't mean that we don't support our DP4 friends, and the Tyler Stewarts and the Taylor Davises and the Jason Hesses and the Rick Smiths and all those gentlemen and ladies make that series what it is. And we text and communicate weekly. So
that's awesome.
Hats off to you guys. Thank you.
I appreciate
really
you guys so much. Yeah.
Hey, Brooke, I want to congratulate you on winning at the DP4 series as well. So now how many series have you won in?
Let's see. I won in Works and DP4.
And you podiumed in VITD.
and I've podiumed in VITD.
Look at you, man, in such a young career. So good job for you. Hey, we got to let you guys go, but I want to congratulate you on that and and wish you all the best of luck in all the future endeavors too. Hope to see you at a DP4 race soon.
Yeah, thank you for all the kind words, guys. Appreciate you.
Yeah, congrats on all your success, Brooke. Thanks.
Thank you.
See you guys. That's super cool that you have such a good
That's awesome
support mechanism, right?
Yeah,
and especially hearing it, because I know that you guys go home and you have fun at the races, you get to hear all the positive stuff, but you're working, right? And then so to be able to get some of these people to tell you how you feel and how they feel, and just give you so much good feedback, right, from a whole family perspective after the fact is so cool.
It's funny because I'm trying to think time wise here. Probably 15 years ago, when we were in the Hunters Motorcycle Club, we'd host a race once a year. And what you'd do is you'd go home and you'd rush to the computer, get on the message board to see what people were saying about the race.
Right.
Or Cycle News.
Yeah, or Cycle News, which I was writing the articles for, so I got to talk good about us back then. But we'd see what the peers were saying about the races because we didn't have social media. We didn't have Facebook or Instagram or this kind of thing. So now you have such instant gratitude or instant gratification or frustration, right? I mean, we hear it when people don't like things, and that happens. Sometimes things don't go right, or the courses are a little bit rocky, or it's a hot day. It was 118 degrees at the last race, So we get all of that right away.
But it's 118 degrees for everybody. You guys are out there working. They're out there racing. Everybody has to deal with it, right? And you're still giving them a platform to be able to go out and have
we're
fun.
out there 2, 3, 4 days ahead of in advance.
Yeah.
It's just, just for the love of the situation.
Yeah. It's super cool to see that, man. I enjoy it a lot, and I want to talk a little bit with Jason Hess of Liqui Moly and ask him a little bit too about the business to business side of things too, because that's a lot of things that people don't get to see. Some of the racers, myself, if I was out there racing, I wouldn't get to see it. So, welcome Jason Hess of Liqui Moly to the show. How are you, Jason?
Yeah, what's happening, guys?
There he is, Mr. Handsome.
Hey, you see his hat? I like that
hat.
Yeah. So, little tidbit while Jason's on here. Jason was the first off-road industry person ever that I ever spent a single dollar with.
Really?
I bought a dirt bike. My neighbor talked me into buying a dirt bike and trying a couple races, and then I realized that I blew my shocks out or my forks out, needed fork seals done. And so one of my buddies said, "Oh, go see Jason." It was called Fine Line Suspension, and I drove up into Huntington Beach. I had taken my bike apart in the garage and needed my suspension for me. And it's just a small world. 20 years later, he's one of our sponsors and supporters.
He might know a little bit about suspension.
Just a little bit, right? Yeah. Just a little bit.
But that's cool. I mean, look at how far it turns,
Yeah, it really does. It's pretty amazing. So
everything is kind of like a full circle in a sense, You meet a lot of people 20, 25 years ago, when they were here and there. Then all of a sudden now the circle comes back and you run across these great people again, and all of a sudden now the support just pours out.
Yeah, 100%. And I think Jason would probably say the same thing about you guys.
No, that's it, man. I mean, it is kind of crazy. When I heard about the series taking off, all of a sudden I heard something with Ryan Sanders, and I'm like, wait a minute, Ryan Sanders? And so it's just been good to reconnect with these guys. Great guys, Tommy, Ryan. It's been an absolute good time, man. Cannot thank these guys enough for allowing us to be a part of the series.
It is pretty cool, and for you guys to be a supporter of the series is pretty rad too. So a lot of things that we get to talk about on the show, Jason, as you know pretty well, is business to business relationships, people connecting. We deal with a lot of good companies on the show, and it's cool to see that you guys saw value in them and they saw value in you.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. It was kind of funny because, we were working on sponsorships last year, and I got to give it to Tommy, man. That guy hit me up all the time. He's like, "Come on, let's do it. Let's do it." And I'm like,
got him on speed dial.
We got to squeeze this in. We got to be a part of this thing. And again, just the connection, like you guys said right there in the beginning of all of us kind of getting back together. It made sense. We tried to step up and do some stuff with them. And I cannot, like I said, if anybody's out there that wants to be a part of the series, I can't recommend it enough. It's been great, and thanks to what these guys do out there.
Well, let's not talk value or anything like that as far as monetary value, but let's talk about value, about you guys investing your time, what it comes back to, like how, what does a business decision come down to when you guys decide to work with an organization like DP4 and connect Liqui Moly with them?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough because we're trying to do so much for the brand and get in so many different categories. And again, the effort was Tommy really putting in that effort, and reaching out over and over and over again. So we finally nailed that down. And for us, we go out and we do the tech inspection with the crew out there. We get to meet everybody, talk to them about our products. So it's a really, really cool thing for us to be able to do. And honestly, everybody that's out there in the DP4 racing series, man, the conversations that we get to have with these guys in the race teams, it's been great. I have never had any experience like that.
Yeah,
so
you're literally getting down in the dirt and talking to those guys.
Yeah, no, every single one of those cars comes through the tech booth. A lot of the guys, which has been really cool, they actually have questions about the products. So we sit there, have conversations, and there's times where we'll even walk away and in a deeper conversation with them. And I cannot it's been so good, man. Really, really cool to connect with all the guys out there at DP4 and all the racers.
And so, Tommy, on the adverse side of that, when you're looking for partners, how are you looking for partners to be able to partner up with DP4?
I mean, we're always looking for partners, but we're not willing to just take any partner. My main output and ours is basically like, who's going to be good for our customers? Who's going to treat our racers well?
Yeah, not just your wallet.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's like you talk to a lot of, business owners and stuff like that. And, and some are kind of been beat over the head and everybody's asking for sponsorships all the time and so forth like that. But when you start talking to these individuals and you see what their mindset is and they see what we're doing, it's like, yeah, I want to be a part of that. That's a good, healthy attitude. I like to come and help you, Tommy.
Yeah.
I like to really come. I see where you're going with your customer base, your racers and stuff like that. You're very supportive. And so, we look at that realm, that sponsorship will treat our customer as well as we do. And it's like when we're out there and like, Jason was saying, we're available to our racers 24/7. I mean,
right.
My phone number has been passed around many times. I mean, Ryan and I.
My phone number's on the website.
It's on the website.
Every day in Hawaii, I got a call last week.
We get emails, texts, asking, simple questions or complex questions or just where can I go or who can I hook up with to learn about this. And so as owners and then our sponsors, they actually come out and Jason's like, well, what can I do? I go, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
It's your palette. Come paint it, whatever you want to do. You want to do this? Make it happen. Take ownership of your area, and let's have fun with this. And he's ran crazy with it. He loves it.
And that's a big thing. You can get money.
I feel like that type of attitude towards the racing organization is a huge recipe for growth.
It is, because they can give us all the money in the world or product or prizes to give away, but when he's in there in the trenches with us, like he's dedicated like we are. He's like he said, he's meeting the racers, right? If you need to buy oil products, like why wouldn't you buy Liqui Moly if he's out there talking about it? And if you're going to buy it anyways, you might as well buy from someone that's supporting you.
Hey, I got to say that finish line balloon or whatever.
The arch they got?
The arch, dude.
The arch?
So
it's
good.
Cool, yeah. Hey, we're going to have it back this weekend, right, Jason?
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah, man, we're bringing the arch back out,
Good.
so we'll get that sucker up. But that's always a good time, yeah.
Well,
for sure.
Maybe you guys can give me a little bit more information. You guys have a race this weekend then?
We do, yeah. So that was kind of why we kind of originally talked about this being the week we come on, because this is our last night race of the year. It's Saturday night out in Ridgecrest. We had a rough go at the last one. It was so hot. I think it drove a lot of people away, and we're excited. We got one more chance for Tommy to play in the dark, as we put it, and we've actually kind of already gone out there. I'm not going to tell you that the course is marked, but the course might be marked a little bit.
Oh, don't tell
don't go out there and pre-run everybody. But
we don't want to give anybody an advantage over here.
But we're excited. It's a big week for us, and then the last night race of the year. We've got 2 races left this year, and I think after our break, I'll share some secret news about the last race of the year. But
cool.
But Jason will be out with us this weekend, and he'll be in the tech section with the guys doing our tech and contingency. And
this poor guy, Jason, he never stops working, man. He barely even got to sleep in his bed this month.
Oh, man, we keep it pegged. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, there's more to him in the background than you see when you're out there meeting him and stuff like that. I mean, he and I have gone back and forth about shooting videos. I would send him my stuff because we started the DP4 Chronicles, and I would send him. It's like, hey, what do you think about this? And he goes, oh man, that's great. Change this, that, and all that good stuff. And I would send him some footage. He would help me, try to learn a little bit more on the iPhone movie and so forth like that. And so he gave me a lot of guidance because he has a lot of love and he has that good eye
Yep.
He's out there flying the drone or his camera. He knows what to look for, and so I kind of follow his lead.
The perfectionist.
He may not know that, and his head's getting all big and stuff like that. But no,
His hat doesn't even fit anymore,
his
dude.
hat's gonna pop
Yeah,
off.
I gotta change the clip on my hat real quick.
Yeah,
right.
But no, this is the type of sponsor you want that enjoys being involved. With all our sponsors who do get involved, and we always encourage our other sponsors, get involved, come out, meet these people.
So we had a funny comment come through. Talk about getting involved with the sponsors. Brian Howden said, Tyler Stewart, you can jump on it again. I'm assuming it was at the arch. He said, did we have a trouble with the arch? Is that what I see over here?
No, Tyler's one of our sponsors. Yeah, Tyler.
He said, Tommy, I can't jump the finish line
No,
trailer
okay,
anymore.
so Tyler Stewart, Tyler might be the only DP4 racer in history to try to catch air off of our 20,000-pound podium trailer here.
and he'll swear he's only doing 15 miles an hour. But you know what? Those type of people you love because they're involved in the sport. He jumped in with Tourist Supply and his wife and him bringing the whole Nevada team over, and then all of a sudden now this big rival between Nevada and the Desert
Vets, which we'll talk about in a few minutes. I know a bunch of them are watching.
That's really big.
Yeah. That's super cool. Well, I'm glad that you guys are a part of the organization, Jason. How have you seen like the racing portion of it? Because you love racing as well, and you've done it a few times. Like, how do you like the racing that they put on?
It is really cool. Everything that you guys were talking about earlier, the ribbon. I mean, back in the bike days, that's where I come from too, is the two-wheel side of things. So having the ribbon out there, I've got a chance to go around the courses to check them out myself and see what it's like. It's fun, man. I mean, it is some fun 2-track ripping trails that these guys cut. Tommy goes out there and, cranks it out and gets a really killer course going on. So again, if you guys haven't done it or you want to come check it out, it's great. It's absolutely perfect, man.
It's a passion of love. I mean, Steve, our other partner is not here, Steve Albright. He's out there doing his magic on one section of the course. I'm trying to do my best on the other side of the course and stuff like that. And so a lot of times I always hear, "Damn it, Tommy!" It's like, yeah, I know this is Tommy's section. Damn it, Tommy! So he used to get those all the time, but we really like putting on a fun course. It's just. We all used to be, Ryan, Steve, and I were all desert racers, motorcycles. I mean, history. But, now we got into this age where we're getting more just joy out of it. It's like watch the stories when we're, doing the potlucks and stuff like that. You just hear the stories. I was ahead of you. No, I was ahead of you. I was right there. You were over here. I will sit back and just listen and just absorb those stories. And it's like, I did a good job. We did a good job.
You're hearing all the smiles and conversations and seeing all of it.
And you get the feedback and the negativity, but you have to take that as equally too. You just can't take it personally. Trust me, I have a big flak jacket. I wear thin skin and so forth like that. And but a lot of these guys know they come to me, however they come at me and stuff like that. But well,
let's talk about that as a growth point. Because you guys are, I'm sure after every race, you guys have a recap and you guys talk to each other about goods, bads, indifference, whatever it was. What's the usual process? I can say, like, after we have these show, I'll know what went good on the show. I'll know what went bad on the show. I'll ask you guys the same things. And then in my racing career, I did the same thing. We had a debrief at the end. We knew what we did good that weekend. We knew what we did bad. You guys have grown very fast, so you guys must be doing that. And for a partner that's going to be active like Liqui Moly, I'm sure they want to hear stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think I start the end of the weekend based off how pissed I am at Tommy or not. No.
True.
No, we butt heads. We always butt heads because you have to listen to both sides of the opinion on something and decide what's best for the series, right?
Right. But, like I said, that's a form of growth, though.
Yeah, absolutely. And we did grow really rapidly. We had a lot of factors that contributed to that. Some of it being events being canceled. Some of it being our ability to navigate a COVID environment.
Yeah.
We really
had that was a twist. Yeah,
the three of us have so many different traits that we can really excel at. So combined, we do a great job. I think of keeping this upward lift is our goal here. And what do we measure as success? Is it numbers? Is it I don't know what you measure
It's
success.
got to be all. I mean, as far as Tommy's concerned, it's the conversations and the happiness level.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the number one for everybody. But there has to be levels for everything that you do, right?
Yeah, I mean, and I guess the easy number to look at is how many people showed up, right? The numbers, but it's also how much reach are you growing here? What kind of people are you bringing in? And not just, oh, did another guy come out from Ridgecrest because the race is in Ridgecrest, but how many people came from Montana or New Mexico? Where are they coming from? Where are they hearing about us? And it's people like Liqui Moly or companies like Liqui Moly or yourself that are helping to spread that word. And,
well, what was some of the early numbers that you guys are, because now you guys are growing. I mean, the car counts are huge.
Yeah, so the very first race, we had 5 people, 5 cars.
Really?
And it poured down. It was Super Bowl weekend. It poured down rain. And at first, I'm like, okay, well, this sucks, 5 cars. But then I realized that, no, this is great because we can, on a personal level, prove ourselves here, and we can and build some content and meet these people. And it's a lot easier to understand what you're doing wrong when there's only 5 people you're dealing with. And so that's kind of how it started. And that first year, we hovered, I think the high point was 30 cars.
Right.
Last year, I think our high point was in the 60s, and this year we hit 120 at one of the races.
Holy smokes, are you serious?
We did. We hit 120 at round 2, and then we did taper off at the last one. We were up in the high 50s, and it was, I think, because of the weather. Maybe, there's a lot of factors, but I mean, I think for us, if we're around between 60 and 100 cars, like it's a great day in the desert. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, man.
But we have hit 120. It was pretty cool. But again, more importantly, like. We have so many people that have come out and tried their first race, and I think that's a huge, huge sign of growth from a sponsor. If I can tell you that we've got all these people that have come out and raced for the first time, that now we're going to need to buy a whole parts list of parts because they've got bit by the bug and they want to try racing and continue racing. That's a sign of success. I
mean, that's a huge win. I don't know who was the one that commented. Red Cow Racing says DP4 is a great platform for desert vets racing. To get veterans out and introduced to off-road racing. We really appreciate all that you do. So it sounds like more than just the numbers, you guys are actually showing a platform to be able to help other people too.
Yeah, I mean, we're trying to show a platform where everyone's an equal. It's not just, although we're stoked that like a Ricky Brabeck comes or a Chris Blaze comes, like it's not just about that pro. It's not. It's about every other person that's there and the mom that's watching her kid ride out for the first time, or it's about desert vets who are putting active and people that are no longer active duty veterans in the cars and getting them the chance to be part of this team and experience this off-road racing thing. And it's to me, it's all about the vets, and I accept that, but it's also about these people that are spending thousands of dollars to support these vets, and these guys have these race cars like the one behind us, and they'll put random people that they've maybe never met in that car and let them tear the crap out of the car because the greater good of humanity and the greater good of the off-road world. I mean, it really, by letting the races happen, we've provided the platform for that, maybe intentionally or unintentionally, but just the off-road world has just kind of morphed into that, and it's so awesome.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. And you got to be appreciative of that, Jason, as a partner of the series.
Yeah, no, it is, man. And these guys, it's full circle. I thought when you guys were talking about how do you kind of put the whole puzzle together, is it car count? What is it? And I think for on our side of it, it's the delivery across the board. It's the people out there, it's the racers, it's the teams, it's all the interaction that takes place. It's the marketing value that goes after the events and before the events. I mean, they knock it out of the park all the way around. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. Hey, so we're going to have to cut the conversation a little bit short because we're running behind. We have a champion DP4 racer, Chris Blaze, is going to be calling in just a second here. So thank you very much for joining us, Jason. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate all you guys. George, thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. Have a great rest of your week, bud.
See you guys this weekend.
We'll see you
More
Saturday.
DP4 Chronicles.
Yeah, there you go. Later, Jason.
Later.
It's cool to see that. You guys got to be pretty appreciative of having a conversation like that in a public environment with a partner because he's being honest. He's saying that how much value you guys provide back to his marketing and his sales efforts. I mean, there's really no other way. I mean, like you're saying, do we gauge it on numbers? Do we gauge it on car count? Like, how do we gauge it on? You got to gauge it on like stuff like that. Like the relationship's got to feel great.
Yeah, no, it really does. And he's not the only one. I mean, the sponsors have been really great. They all have. And Tommy, Tommy's working in the industry. He works at XRs Only, and he's talking to these kind of people on a daily basis. So we've stayed relevant. We are very, very, I think, approachable. And I I feel like I'm talking myself up here as I say this, but I mean what I'm saying.
Don't stop.
I mean it in that we try to be as approachable and forthcoming and truthful as possible, and we're riding this thing out together, the good and the bad, but thankfully, knock on wood, most of it's been really, really great.
Yeah, it's cool. Well, I'm just talking to Chris Blaze here on a text message. I'm going to have go to commercial break, and then we'll have Chris come on when we come back from
Great,
Right on.
great.
So give us about 5 minutes here. Enjoy the commercials. We'll be right back.
Hello, I'm Justin, the founder of Shock Therapy. Shock Therapy has been around for 5 years, but we have personally been tuning suspension on off-road cars and race vehicles for over 25 years. We tune between 10 and 15 cars per day, every single day of the week. Our concentration is tuning shock systems and supplying components that improve the ride quality of your car in many ways. Not only do we work on the average UTV, but we also tune suspension for race teams and professional drivers. We currently tune for over 87 race teams in Best in Desert and Score. Our clients and race teams rely on our suspension components to allow them to win races and keep them safe. Suspension is a moving target. We are always trying to hit that target with every customer that we work with. Each customer's needs can be different, and we tune our kits accordingly. Our research and development never stops. We improve our components every single day. As the industry evolves and improves, so do our parts and kits. As of right now, we have over 100 products for UTVs. So when you bring your car to us, you have the satisfaction of knowing that you have the most experience, the highest quality products, and the fact that your car is being tuned specifically to you.
Zollinger Racing builds the best aftermarket products available. Products for your UTV or snowmobile, including billet radius rods, billet tie rods, billet steering knuckles, billet steering racks, alternator kits, and much more. All manufactured in the United States in-house at their headquarters in Nibley, Utah. Travis Zollinger and his team test in some of the most brutal conditions, racing in places like the Best in the Desert Mint 400, Ultra 4 King of the Hammers, UTV World Championships, and many more. Visit ZollingerRacingProducts.com and use the code DIRTLIFE to get 10% off your next purchase, and join us on social media at Zollinger Racing Products to see our products in action. Zollinger Racing, the best products, period. Yeah, finally, we got Lance from Solderweld in the studio. Thanks for coming down, bud. Hey, why don't we just record a commercial now?
Yeah, why not? So good to be here, man. It's been a lot. I've been trying to get down here forever, and I wanted to talk about the off-road kit.
Dude, I love those things. I got it in my pack.
Yeah, we're running hundreds of vehicles now running them, whether it's a UTV or some guy's got it in a backpack on his motocross. He's got everything he needs to make a fix right there on the fly, out on the trail, or in the desert, whatever it is.
Well, since I've already used one, I kind of know what to use it for, but explain what it does.
All right, so let's pull one out real quick. You've got your aluminum rods. Remember, they're rods, right? So, light torch, small torch. You can throw it in there or throw it on the rig with your flux. It decontaminates and cleans like let's say a radiator. You get a random rock chip runs through as you're racing. You get a rock chip in a radiator. You got to fix it right there, or you're out of the race.
You can patch it up instead of
patch it up. It's all good to go.
Yep, just like welding.
Yeah. Also, as well with that, you've got a brake line fix. So with your flux, you can fix a brake line, stainless steel. And then your hot block, heat absorption putty. So it keeps you from getting burned, number one, as well as keeps the heat from traveling. So it's really, really nice.
I've used this not even to fix anything. So that stuff works so good, man.
Listen, it's easy. It straps in nicely so that you have everything you need in one little place, and you don't have to carry a big bag in
it's
the
like a first
truck.
aid kit for your vehicle.
Yeah, Chase trucks have it as well, so that if they need to make a fix on the fly, they can get it done and get it done quick and get you back in the race.
Dude, those things are so cool. All right, so it's at Solderweld on Instagram, Facebook, and solderweld.com.
Awesome.
All right, thanks, bud.
Appreciate it.
All right, welcome back to episode 99 of the Dirt Life Show with the guys from the DP4 Racing Series. In-house, we have Ryan Sanders and Tommy Russell. We're missing your third partner, though. How do you say Steve's last name? Argue-Bright?
Argue-Bright, yeah. Just like that, like if you're arguing something that's bright, right?
Yeah, Argue-Bright. Are you right?
On the line, we have, or on Instagram Live, we have Chris Blaze and Patty Blaze. Chris is a Dakar champion on a dirt bike. He's also a DP4 racing champion in a side-by-side. Welcome, Patty and Chris. How are you guys?
Yeah, we're doing good. How about you guys?
We can hear you great now, so we're doing good, man. Hey, I really like your hat, Chris. It's the nice KMC one.
Got to represent, right?
It's that red one. So shout out to Ryan and Ryan over there at Wheel Pros.
Yeah, thanks to those guys.
So we got you on the line now, but you've actually got quite a bit of experience in the DP4 Racing Series, man. You're a champion, and you still get out there and race quite a bit of races with them, don't you, Chris?
Yeah, I really enjoy the series. I mean, they do a good job. They put on a good 4-hour, 5-hour event. I mean, it's a good test for the vehicle. I love being out there. I mean, great seat time and, low entry fees.
Well, so Chris, you say it like that. And when you talk about seat time, let's look at it from a non-professional racing standpoint. Like, you're already at the highest level of racing, and you use it as seat time as a driving platform to get more out there, get some practice time in, race against some other racers, mark the course, kind of get your feel, and basically kind of get your muscle memory going, right? But if you're looking at it from more of a entry level standpoint, how do you think these guys do getting all the new racers in? Because you get to race against them too.
I mean, they do a great job. I mean, it's a platform where someone brand new can come out and race affordably and check it out. I mean, that's what we need to grow the sport. I mean, these bigger events that we do, it's a huge undertaking. It's not just a fun weekend out in the desert. I mean, it's a huge undertaking. You got to have a ton more stuff under the car and support and people. But I mean, DP4 they put together an awesome grassroots series, and that's enhancing the whole sport.
When you have drivers like this, Ryan, come out to the races, I mean, how much do you use their feedback and their understanding of what's going on? Like, it's got to be invaluable.
So much. I mean, Chris is a little bit different. I go a long ways back with Chris and Patty, and we work together with the National Hare and Hound Association. I've been to Baja with him on a KTM, I think.
Do they still make fun of you for wearing sandals all the time?
Sandy, what's your name? Patty? Patty makes fun of me for wearing sandals a lot.
He got them Sandy. 2 for 1 price down there.
I think
I'm always cold. He's always hot.
I think my sandal days go back to when we rescued Patty. She was floating down a river in El Centro. And
Whoa.
had to crawl out there into the mud in the middle of the night because she couldn't get picked up until after dark. And
great. Water.
Ever since then, I've had sandals on, so, No, but...
that was the craziest Hare and Hound ever.
As far as their input, I mean, we do. I really, really, really do value it. I value everybody's input. I do. But I can lean on someone like Chris or like Braybeck or even Jacob Argue-Bright and see what the other series are doing and how they're accomplishing the goals that we're trying to accomplish, And questions with Chris have been sponsor-based. It's been how do we attract bigger names? It's how do we attract more racers? What can we do to make this more enjoyable? I mean, we've spent hours on the phone. Before DP4 even started, I begged him to come out, and unfortunately early on, the schedules just didn't align. But, I mean, since he's raced with us, he's been to almost every race, if not all of them, and he really is a big, big proponent, not just of his own racing with us, which he does really well, but he's prepping cars for people. He's giving advice to my racers. Literally, he can win a race, and any random guy from our series can walk up to him, and he'll give them setup advice. It's the coolest thing. It really is.
It really is cool. Hey, I don't know if I told you, Chris, but I saw the builder of your car, Mitch Alsup, at Barstow, Maine this past weekend. It was pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, nice. Yeah, we've been working really hard on development of these new cars and trying to get things moving forward, so...
It's cool because all of that translates into growing the series as much as you guys may not, notice it, but like he's helping people build cars. A lot of those people have never gotten in a side-by-side before, like it's pretty neat to be able to see the growth.
Yeah, no, it really is. It's so fun to see the growth. I love it. It makes it worth it. Long nights and, something we should definitely mention is the racers are a big part of this, and Patty's a perfect example here, but none of us would be able to do this without our families.
Yeah,
My wife, Tommy's wife, Cheryl Argubright. Cheryl has been to the desert 3 times in the last 7 days out to Ridgecrest. Like my wife, Kristen, and she comes out here and struggles through the days with me. I mean, Patty to Chris. I mean, you guys really make this work, and we have to all be lucky that we've got that. And every one of the racers I'm watching here on the screen that come out with their spouses, and Kim Lynch with her husband Scott. I mean, all of these people, we really have such a great team, and we're all growing together. That's the best part.
Yeah, just having great support. You know, with my sweetie Susan Dan, they understand and they see the efforts, and you know, and they're pitching in, jumping in.
Yep.
You know, they're the backbone. You know, for us. You know, they know we're going through a lot and so forth like that.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
with our loved ones, it's great to have that support. You know, positive, negative. You know, sometimes, you know, I could be right, I could be wrong. I'm probably more wrong than I've always been told.
Probably.
Yeah, but you know, you listen to those inner voices. You know, and you know, jumping back on Chris. You know, back before we started, you know, I would lean on some of these pros. You know, like I know Chris. I gave him the rule book. I go, tear it apart. Tell me what you think. Tear it apart. You know,
Yeah.
Mikey Childress. Lives up and right with me, great racer too. And I say, I give him the rule book, tear it up, tear it up. Tell me where the holes are at. Tell me if this is good or bad or whatever, stupid, you know. And I would get those feedback from those gentlemen. You know, they've got mountains and mountains of experience. And you know, the cool thing with Chris and Mikey Childress, they saw what we're trying to do, and so they understood the direction, and they gave a lot of good guidance.
Yeah, and it helps too because it's always better to have more than one set of eyeballs on it, right?
Oh, absolutely.
One of the questions that I had that I wanted to ask you guys, maybe we could ask Chris and Patty this. How do you? What was the question? What are your guys' backgrounds? So, Chris, when did you get to meet Tommy and Ryan and Steve as well?
I mean, I met those guys when I started racing, probably when I was 20 years old.
Pretty close too, huh?
That we raced with and raced against, and all these clubs that put on these events. I mean, they're people that you know forever. I mean, your whole life, because they have the passion for the sport and they never leave it.
So where did you meet them at? Because the question is basically going to be, what are your guys' backgrounds? So where did you meet them at another race?
So
yeah,
I met Ryan in Baja. He said, "I'm going to come to Baja and help you guys."
Oh my God, I forgot about that. Yeah, so long ago.
And in one of the hotels, and we only knew each other's faces from like our District 37 message board.
Yeah, you and me and Mark Devlin. I forgot. God, that was so long ago. I forgot about that. Wow.
When was this? You know,
I had just graduated high school 2 weeks before, so I was 18 and. So I'm 35 now, so almost 20 years ago, 17 years ago.
Wow, that's so cool. Look at, like Tommy said, look at how it comes full circle.
Right, yeah.
And then we've been friends ever since, and, you know, Ryan's always helped us, and Tommy.
I mean, he was in the 100s MC. I mean, the guys are setting up races, and, you know, you need those people. Sign-ups, you know, when you got to deal with the ref.
Yeah.
It's fun.
And we were racing district every weekend for years and years and years. So we know.
Is that what Kimberly Lynch over here says, D37? Is that what she is? Patty's talking about as well?
Yeah, when you had Chris on a few weeks back, he was telling that story about he worked in the Honda shop, and the guys let him come out with a bike one time. Those are local District 37 events.
Dude,
every weekend.
How cool are these stories, man?
It's pretty wild.
I love hearing this stuff.
Oh, yeah. We, like Ryan was saying earlier, we are one huge family, dysfunctional or not. Very dysfunctional. I mean, but these are lifelong friends. You meet and you instantly have a connection because of the desert.
Hey,
I mean, we're all out there risking our lives, and we all support each other. We race against each other, with each other, help each other. It's just a huge family.
I love that Patty's getting all sentimental, but did anybody notice the buck in the background? Look at that buck back there behind Chris.
What is it?
Sitting up there?
Or the buck, whatever that is.
It's some kind of trophy. Where's that trophy from?
Horns or something on it.
More rally trophy.
Oh, very cool.
Okay, yeah,
wow.
Oh, yeah. Look, it's got horns or something. What is that? Like,
yeah,
that thing's crazy.
It's like a native dude, and it's homemade. It's a like a 20-pound block of wood. It's amazing.
Dude, that thing's crazy.
Yeah.
Cool.
Hey,
This
so
has some cool stuff. Yeah.
we were going to talk about some of that stuff with you guys, weren't we?
Yeah, we have kind of changed the way we do trophies this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, for a couple years we bought from MX Trophies. They do a great job, and it was kind of the same old every time. And again, I mention the name a lot because he's my really good friend. But the Argue Brights, Jacob, probably like you, Chris, has a million trophies on the wall. And what we kind of decided this year was like, we're going to spend money on trophies. Let's do something that's cool. We've done really awesome trophies this year, from glass pieces to regular looking trophies to really badass coolers, which there's one of them right here next to me that we did. Try to be a little more functional.
Yeah, things you can utilize and take out in the desert because you're not going to carry your trophy around with you.
Yeah, I know. At the last race, we did a really cool, multi-stacked high toolbox that we put all the logos on that we thought that the pit crew could use or whatever. And at this race, we've got a cool surprise coming that my wife's been running all around town getting finished this morning.
Ooh,
so
that sounds cool.
So we've got some fun stuff, and we're having a lot of. It's fun to come up with random trophies. And the one that I have coming this weekend, and as soon as they're done, I'll share some photos. But I know that it's going to be the kind of thing. Whoever wins for second, third overall, 10 years from now, they're going to pull this thing out of their trailer and pull up to a campfire, and people will be like, "Holy shit, you won that!"
Yeah,
it's going to be cool, and I'm excited and proud of that. So that's something we've been doing. Something else we started was, so in my sailing that I do, we have a race every year, and they give out a maroon or like a blazer or whatever, and you know how like the green jacket in golf or whatnot. Yeah. So what we've started doing is, and I'm going to try to walk up here or show you guys in the camera.
Just point it in front of that camera.
Yeah,
right
so
there.
we do these, I don't know where I can see it, but we do these watches at every round.
And then you can point it at that
yeah, and I'll
camera
show you guys up there on Instagram too. And so we do a watch at every round. And
we have one of those, one or two.
You got a couple of these things, right?
Yeah,
and
if
so,
I take a look?
yeah, of course. So if you're lucky enough to finish on the podium, you get to take one of these watches home. And George, I'll show you.
Wow,
they
this
vary.
is also branded with your sponsors, dude. Way to go,
yeah. So they're different at every race, right? So this
one's
I'm feeling
the black one, dude.
Yeah, they're all a little bit different. So
hey,
hopefully someone will have a set.
I don't know if you
at the
guys
end
can see the smile on my face, but I kind of feel like I'm at a jewelry store. Like I'm looking at these watches, like check it out, something really expensive.
Right, exactly. So we've been doing those kind of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was something that Steve Augerbright came up. He comes up with some cool ideas, and he also looks at it's like, what are the other race series not doing, and to make us different, to make it fun and so forth. Not saying the other series are not fun, it's just trying to separate ourselves. We're not trying to copy anybody else by any means. We're just trying to do something different and show our appreciation on that. And Steve comes out with some real cool ideas. It's like, I didn't think about that. How did you come up with that idea? And
creative guy over there.
Yeah, he is. He's over in the corner making some little mystery up, and then shows you, and it's like, voila.
I don't know where the comment went because their comments are going kind of fast, but somebody asked if you guys were going to race in different locations.
Yeah, I think ultimately we'd like to try to pull off a couple different spots, and Tommy's been really putting some effort into trying to find some new locations. And, something I do, like I said, I'm excited to share our experiences with everybody on this platform, but something that we do very well is we know how to host race on BLM lands.
Right.
We know what the BLM people like, we know what the state likes, and we know how to put the program together to make that work.
And Chris and Patty will both agree here when I say this. It's not easy to make those people happy.
No, it's not. And you know what? They are all really great. The ones we're working with.
But they have so many limitations.
And they do, and that's the best way to put it. It's not about making them happy. It's about playing by the rules of somebody who maybe has never been to the desert that has decided this is how things go at the way high up level.
Yep.
And then the local branches that have to deal with that and manipulate it to work. And so we've done really well in BLM land. And we're hoping that maybe next year we can try to find at least one more somewhere different. No promises yet because it's not easy, but we're trying to see what our options are to expand out a bit.
Yeah, because, we're always searching around. I mean, Carrie over in Ridgecrest, she's great. She helps us find a bunch of information. We're trying to bring races out towards the Ridgecrest area into the city. Constantly in contact with her. You got to find those people who know the people.
Right.
The one who has their finger on the pulse of their town, of their community. Ridgecrest is a huge, racing community. I mean, we got a lot of people there. One of my good friends, Rob Barban's out there. It's just, trying to pump that through. And we want to make California, more friendly with racing. We're talking with other places. Trying from Tehachapi to Bakersfield to Ridgecrest to Vegas. I'm the kind of guy who goes. I'm the guy. My job is to go chase these unicorns and see if they exist.
Yep. And keep calling and calling and calling like Jason until they answer and say okay, right? Tommy will pound them to death trying to make something happen. He's good at that. He really is good at making things like that happen.
Just trying to sell that point, and it's just like, look, we're trying to bring something to your community. We're trying to bring business to you, and so forth. And we're trying to grow our series. So if we go hit that lucky strike in a certain area of Ridgecrest or wherever it could be, it could be another big event, for that town. It could go from an annual to biannual or 3, 4, 5, 6 race series and stuff like that. And if they want to jump in with a partnership, that's awesome. That's
and like
great.
you said, it helps the town as well. Patty and Chris, one of the questions that I always have at the races is like, I always come back from the races and I want to understand like how happy I was and know the memories that I had. Do you guys each have your own individual memories of the times that you were at DP4 with these guys?
Oh yeah, definitely. Tommy.
Probably the last round. The last round. Yeah.
I didn't know that my brother-in-law, who had been drinking, was setting a fire on pit road.
Oh crap!
Remember, only you can prevent forest fires.
But he said it was right after they announced final lap, so he thought it was okay.
So in the other half here, before Tommy gives his version, which is probably drastically different, right? I mean, it was in a fire pit, and none of us thought it was an issue. Right. Until the BLM guy comes up, and Tommy like, oh, hey, how's it going? He's like, not very good. There's a fire burning right there. We're like, we drop everything to fix the fire. You know what I mean? And that's stressful because that could mean our permit, right? That could mean they're not going to give us the next permit. And it was innocent. It wasn't a big deal. But Tommy had the task of putting it out and dealing with what was coming as repercussion-wise.
Yeah, but with Patty and stuff like that, and it's like we all known each other for a long period of time. So we can talk rough, we could talk straight and forward with each other. Sometimes we could turn into bullhorns, but at the end of the day, we still care for each other, and that's the whole thing with the desert people. You can do that. Yeah. I mean, some people have gotten better how they are, but but then again, I have to listen and so forth, and sometimes you butt heads, then you back off. You have to think about things, and it's like, yeah, that person had a point. And so forth, and we'll talk later. I know I always, call Chris or Patty or whatever, or any other people that I've ran across and so forth that they come talk to me, and I'll do my best, and sometimes I don't agree, or but later on we talk, and that's the whole thing about desert people. You just you'll come back to full circle.
Yeah, and one of the things that I'm understanding, like just having all these conversations, not with just Chris and Patty, but everybody that we've talked to so far, is that you guys are, I think you said it before, you have your finger on the pulse, right? You're understanding how you can grow. You're not just closed-minded. It's not just my way. Like, you didn't run up to her and say, put out that fire, don't come back to the next race.
Right.
You came and said, why did you do this? Like, let's figure this out together.
It's like with Patty and stuff like that. You ever watch a baseball game and the ump makes a call, and then the coach comes out and he's kicking dirt up on your shoes and stuff like that. That happens.
Right.
That happens.
The thing is, like, that was like the worst race I've ever had. I mean, everything that could have went wrong, racing went wrong, and then I hear this story at the end. I'm like, oh my god,
well,
what is happening?
He's
freaking Nick.
He doesn't even know what's happening, and I'm like, oh my god,
it's like my brother is such a dumbass.
We love Nick.
What
though.
was he thinking? Like,
well, I told
Nick,
I said, next time, can you at least take off the Blaze team shirt?
There you go.
Before you go start the fire.
Hey, Patty, if you're going to rob a bank, don't use your own car.
I think the thing was, the catalyst was when the BLM pointed, Nick's over there with a gas can flipping it up in the air, laughing around.
Great.
No, I'm just kidding. He wasn't doing that. No.
But not only DP4, but these guys being in the 100s MC, those were some of our absolute favorite national hare and hounds. They put on such great events. They take their time with laying out courses. They give away amazing prizes and trophies, and you can see it in this series too. This is our third year, their third year,
I mean, we should all be thankful that there's people willing to put races on for us racers, because there's nowhere for us to go if they're not willing to do the work. And these guys go out and do all this work. They're not making any money. They're just spending money to go do this for
breaking even, probably.
And it's like, you know what? We all need to be thankful that there's people willing to still do that these days.
Yeah, that people have that much passion. I couldn't agree more, man. And Chris, you've been kind of involved, I guess, since the beginning, and DP4 has grown immensely.
Yeah, I mean, I always give my feedback. I talk to Tommy. He calls me for a debrief after every race and information. And I'm sure he talks to a lot of people. You know, I give him my good and bad 2 cents, and he can take it and do whatever he likes. It's their series, but I give him my information. I'm still going to go there and race, regardless of what they decide or do, if that's what I want to do. So I really enjoy the series. It's very challenging. It tests your abilities as a driver. I learn more at their events than any other races. I test a lot of products on my car at those events, you know, for other events, and it's awesome.
Yeah, it really does sound like it's cool, especially for you guys to do that stuff. I have a couple questions here. One of the first ones is from Zach, and he said, are you guys still going to have the 1,000-mile club? I'm not sure what that is.
Yeah, we do. So we have a 1,000-mile club. And so for me, growing up in high school, we had something called the 1,000-pound club. What that was is, as a football player, if your bench press and your squat and your deadlift equaled 1,000 pounds, you joined this club, right? And you got your name on the wall on a cool T-shirt. And
That's
so
cool.
What our partner Steve came up with, which we really are proud of, is our 1,000-mile club.
Dude,
so
Steve's the creative idea
Steve has
guy,
the
man.
craziest ideas. He really does, and they are
Pulling rabbits out of his hat.
like 99% of them literally are really
He's not
awesome
even here, and
ideas.
I like this guy.
I know. I wish he didn't have to work
Oh,
tonight.
yeah, he's
but,
awesome.
but he had this idea for the 1,000-mile club, and what that is we're calculating how many miles every racer does based off the number of laps they finish.
Oh, cool.
And when you've hit 1,000 miles with DP4, you get a jacket and you get inducted into the club. So
Oh, wow.
I'm getting ready tomorrow night. We're going to do an update. We'll induct a couple more people this weekend. So it's a pretty cool deal that we have. It's
Nice.
fun.
So the next step is, like, when you have 10 or 15 guys, you got to rent out the Moose Lodge and all go
Yeah,
have
they have
drinks.
their one night a month meetings, right? Exactly. So yeah, we are definitely continuing that.
Well, and then so Chris races in the Pro Turbo class, but what other classes do you have available for people to race?
Yeah, so we, I think, and it's an interesting question because you're a side-by-side guy. You know them really well, and there's so many turbo cars, right? So
Yeah, tons.
we have a Pro Turbo class. We have a Pro Naturally Aspirated class.
Yep.
This year we modified it where in the Pro Turbo class, we're just calling it DP4 Pro. Naturally aspirated cars can race in that class, and we've had Caden Wells. A few of the guys have done really well in that class in a naturally aspirated car. And so that's kind of cool to let those faster guys and the slower cars, if you will, get to run up with the fast cars. We have the 2 pro classes, and then we have 5 amateur classes. A turbo class, which is for all your Can-Ams and the turbo racers. And we have a production 1000 class, which is for, I would say, heavily modified cars, but modified cars. We have a stock 1000 class.
Right.
And we have a production 900 class, so we don't get too many 900s.
Right.
We did away with the stock 900 class because if you have a 900, you're racing against the 900s.
Yeah, exactly.
And then this year, which we, unfortunately, maybe Max said he'll change that. We haven't had any entries, but we did bring back what we had last year, the RS1 class.
Yeah.
And, we haven't had any RS1s race with us yet, and we'll love to have them. It'd be fun to see how they do. But
Well, I can promise you that if you open up that door, that there's going to be a lot of people that are going to come through. Like, those cars are just so popular.
yeah, and the catch is they want to race the pro class, and it's just a totally different entity. You know what I mean? I'd love to get Max out to look at his lap times if he's the only one in that class versus the pro guys, because, and he said this and he's not wrong, putting him in an amateur class or putting him behind some of the amateur cars because he's a single seater or smaller bore car, whatever, he's going to destroy a lot of those cars, and it's not the safest thing to do. So you got to be careful. It's kind of a catch-22. What's the best option there for that class? You know what I mean?
You guys have an open mind. I know Chris can attest to this. Like, when you have an open mind to that, it really opens the doors to being able to grow the series in a bigger platform.
Yeah, and we're going to continue to talk to Max. I think he might try to get on later and see what we can do to try to bring that a little more to fruition. And maybe we make it a pro class. Maybe we have the RS1s racing at their own pro class and start them a little bit earlier. So we'll see what grows there. And that's kind of it on the 7 classes. Am I missing anything, Tom?
No, you're right there.
Definitely the the thing I see though, there's so many cars in that turbo class. The amateur turbo class is almost 30 cars at every race because that's the popular kind of car. The Can-Am X3s, that's the class they get. You know what I mean? So
it's pretty cool, man. And Chris, when you first started racing with these guys and you're seeing the turnouts now, like what was your thought seeing so many cars come out to the races? I mean, that's badass for you to battle against so many people.
I mean, it's awesome. They need entries. You need entries so the series can survive, and it's just cool seeing that many new people come. Because that's just growing our sport and keeping the industry rolling, which we have to do whatever we can to do that. It's cool to have, guys to compete with. This series, I mean, if you're a good driver, it doesn't matter if you're in a turbo car or an NA car. You can win the race overall.
Yeah, we've proven that fact.
NA car can win no problem. When the Wells come out, I mean, we battle with them and they are on point. And it's basically comes down to who has the least amount of issues that day or that night.
Yeah,
driver ability.
That's cool. Well, and speaking of driver ability and all that stuff, do you guys have any highlights of other racers other than Chris that come to mind? That
oh my God, so many of them. Yeah, so many. And I love what you guys can't see at home is I'm watching the Facebook feed here and all the comments that maybe you actually can't see the comments, I guess, and all of these names: Sean Bigney, Kim Lynch, Zach Kuros. I mean, Tyler Stewart's been raffling in with us all night long. I have so many memories of all of these guys. And
somebody said Chris has such an intense face. Chris, you're not racing right now.
Always racing.
He is. You guys have no idea.
You guys, there's a comment right now from Colby B. That's Colby Benjamin. So he's on his honeymoon in Hawaii, which for most people, that's like, she probably doesn't want to be watching this. But him and his wife now, I believe, actually raced the first ever DP4 race we ever had. And so he's been with us since the beginning. And a little cool tidbit, Colby won the overall in an NA car at the last round in July. So it's been fun. He's a perfect example of someone we've gotten to watch grow. And I'll never forget the first day he was there in the rain with us, And Tyler Stewart, we met this guy, Tyler Stewart, from a Facebook group called Desert Whips. Desert Whips has I don't know, maybe 100,000 followers now. Yeah. And Nick Farmer put out a little, what would you call it? Like he dared people to come out and race, and Tyler showed up. And Tyler's like one of the most loyal, he's the guy you want on your side because he makes so much happen. Tyler, from coming out one time and racing with us, he spread the word and he brought 10 cars out from Nevada. And so we've got a whole group of Nevada cars that come out and they call themselves Team Nevada. And that's cool. I didn't know Tyler Stewart from the next guy 3 years ago. And he's out here supporting and pushing our series so hard. So those are the stories that I remember. Zach Kuros, who's on here, stupid, weird, random story, but I had just bought a trailer and I met him at the RV dump and he was showing me how to use the public RV dump in Barstow.
Perfect.
People that you remember these stories from these people because they're our friends,
That type of skill set is way more important than changing a tire.
Heck yeah.
And, it's like Ryan was talking about is, for us, everything's word of mouth. I mean, basically all we've really advertised is on Facebook and Instagram, really, as far as we've
at a very primitive level. Right. We don't have great marketing. We don't have great art departments, etc.
We've had people come out from Tennessee, Arkansas, Utah, Nevada, New Mexico, and so forth. Northern California. Kurt, if you're on here, get out here. But that's all from word of mouth. It's just everybody. When you watch the feeds, when we're typing up stuff coming up, and then someone would go, that's the series, that's DP4. You got to go check that out. It's just word of mouth flying. So to us, that's really good success if everybody's talking about us.
Yeah,
and they're passing on that message.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys want to visit that question with Max Eddy because he just sent me a text message. So
let's get through Chris and a couple more things here. We'll talk to Max about that too.
Well, Max is at the gym right now. He can't join us, but he did send me a text message.
Okay, cool.
So, Chris, so one thing I wanted to ask was maybe Patty could answer this question. We asked about the highlights. What are two highlights that you guys have had? I mean, winning championships, of course, right? But maybe some highlights that were outside of the racing that you enjoyed at the DP4 series with family, cooks at cookouts, anything like that.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's our family event. Everyone comes out camping. The whole family's there.
Chris's parents come, our niece and nephew, the in-laws. we probably have 25 people in our camp at the DP4 races. It's fun.
It's just a time for us to go out and camp and enjoy it with the family. And maybe it's a little less serious depending on, who shows up. And, we enjoy it. We have a great time.
That's just exactly what we were talking about at the beginning of the show.
Right.
Like, that's why people live their dirt lives, is because they have such an enjoyment, right? Like, I've noticed a bunch of times when I've gone to a high-level race like the UTV World Championship or something like that. I mean, it's a good time because you're with all your friends and family, right? But it's so serious to a point that, it takes away some of the fun. And I would really enjoy it if I could go to a series that's a little bit less stressful, and I could, have a barbecue and really enjoy the time, like what Chris and Patty are saying.
Well, and I'll tell you the first thing, and not to knock any of these other series, those guys do a great job with that UTV World Championships.
Absolutely.
But you can come race with us, and now I get that putting these cars together, like Chris will say this every day of the week, he puts 50 hours into that car between every single race. I understand that, but from a standpoint of how much comes out of your wallet, it's not that expensive to come race with us. There's no entry fees for your family to come watch. There's no gate fees. There's no camping fees. So from a low stress, low barrier to entry, come out to a DP4 race for, less than $1,000. You're going to tow your whole rig out there, feed the whole family for the weekend, and have a great time.
And that would be like just as much as going to the beach for a weekend.
Yeah, same thing. That's the thing.
George needs to come out this weekend.
I know. We need to get George out here this weekend for sure.
I would love to, but I'm going to be in Arizona, so I wish I could, man. We have episode 100. Can you believe that? 100 episodes of The Dirt Life coming out.
That's pretty
Monday.
wild. That's crazy.
Nice.
Good for you.
Crazy, right?
You do such a great job.
Well, thank you. I didn't mean it to get a compliment, but thank you. My head's getting bigger now, too.
You do an amazing job.
Well, hey, so I want you guys to stay on the line just for a couple more minutes here while we ask this last question. Max Eddy wants to race his RS1 in the Pro NA class, right? And he said...
I think the Pro, not NA, but the Pro... just our DP4 Pro class.
Okay, we'll call it the DP4 Pro class. Yeah. And he says, I was just going to ask them, Score and Best in the Desert have now adopted the rule to let the RS1s race in the Pro NA class, and was going to ask them if that was something they'd look into. And let's see here. Yeah, and not just be all the different UTV classes all over the place.
Yeah, so... That's a tough question.
That's a hard question, right?
And I'll be 1,000% honest right now. We have no benchmark to even confirm against. He might be half as fast as Chris. He might be 3 times as fast as Chris. And I'll say because we're a lot different than those other series where we're so tight and twisty. I can see that small car being such an advantage. But also, I'm not a racer. I'm not a driver. I'm out here driving an old 1990 or 2006 T-Rex, pulling up to every bush, sticking a ribbon on it. So I don't have. Well,
and you also have to. It's not just Max that we're talking about, right? Because once you let him in, you let potentially a 16-year-old that has an RS1 be able to race in that class too. Because you open the door for one person, you have to open it for everybody.
Yeah, it's like, for example, it was like a year or so ago, we did open up a class for that, and we had the individual hit us, and they're like, well, we want to race with the other guys. It's like, no, we'll put you in your own class and see how you guys do, For our race series, we're not a track, and we're not a plow road. I mean, honestly, I truly believe we're the only true cross-country desert racing. I mean, we go out and make a course. A lot of times we're not on trails. We're picking out new locations and so forth and canyons. So we give you a little bit of everything from, open, fast sand stuff to, single track.
Yeah, that's cool.
We try, just like a dirt bike race, it's just, we give you a little bit of mixture, so you'll have some speed, you'll have some areas that will slow you down, and make you think. So when we were getting asked those questions, just like, we opened up a class and all that good stuff. And then, you heard crickets. No one showed up. It's like, okay. And then you pull it out, and then now someone else comes in and they want to do it again. I mean, it's like,
the way I see it is you buy the car for the class you're going to race.
Right. Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah. But look what we have here. We got Max Eddy on too as well. How are you doing, Max?
Good. How are you guys?
We're doing fantastic, man. We were just having a little discussion about maybe seeing if we could convince these guys to let the RS1 go in the pro class.
And if I obviously I've expressed to myself that's what I wanted to do, and let me get started with DP4. That's some of the best racing I've done in a long time. It's so fun. And unfortunately, all I have right now is an NA or a RS1, and I'd love to continue racing in your series. But the class that you came up with the RS1 starts in the back. So I was watching a little bit. You guys were online with a 16-year-old girl, or I don't know how old she is or whatever. But for me to start in the back of the entire field in the RS1 is not worth it to me or anyone else, I don't think. I mean, it's a liability issue for you guys. You got a pro level driver starting behind all the amateurs. So if you could move the RS1 class somewhere besides dead last off the line, that would work too.
Yeah, and I actually referenced that earlier, Max. I know you guys are doing something, so maybe you didn't see all the interview, but that's an absolute fact. You've finished, I think you've done 3 races with us and probably been second overall or first overall at all 3 races. It's
in
not
the
a
stock
secret.
vehicle and come out and be number 1.
Yeah, so I mean, that's not, you're not trying to tout yourself higher than you are. You're not making that up. That's a fact. And it's a hard spot for us because
you got to be careful too, because it's not just Max that we're talking about.
It's not just Max.
It could be a 16-year-old girl or whoever it is that also gets in an RS1 and wants to compete too. So I don't know how you would even approach that. I guess it takes a little bit more thought process. What do you think, Max?
Yeah, I mean, being a race promoter is not an easy task. I mean, you got crybabies like me that want this or that, or someone else that wants. Everyone wants it their way, right? You can only appease people, so it's a tough decision. It's a super tough decision to make, but it's something to think about. I know a lot of people are pushing hard for this RS1 class. The RS1's not a super popular car for desert style racing, and unfortunately, that's what we're campaigning this year is the RS1. So I'm kind of stuck with that until next year or maybe the year after. I don't know.
I guarantee.
I'd love to come back.
I guarantee Chris would like to battle with you a little bit, no matter what vehicle you're in.
So
I mean, it don't bother me. It's just getting everybody else on board.
Oh, they battled a few times.
Everybody else will say it's okay, and then after they get their butts kicked, they're like,
Yeah, because we're listening to our racers. We're listening to our racers, and we ask these questions. And there's pros and cons, or yin and yang and all that stuff. There's 50-50, they're too light, they're too fast and so forth. Then the other ones say, no, they're not. They don't have a turbo and all that good stuff. I mean, it's safe to say that nothing's off the table at this time. I mean, we're always talking, thinking about trying to how to make things work to bring in more racers and so forth like that. It's always a possibility, but, we also take, the basics of how this race series started, and we try to listen to our racers and stuff like that. So, like you said, we're all crybabies. I'm a crybaby. Ryan's a crybaby, and Ryan's a crybaby, and Ryan's a crybaby. But we listen. We truly do, and it's like we might be able to work this out, And so it's on the drawing table. The rule book will never be the same every year. It's going to change. There's going to be things in there. Things will come out and so forth like that.
Well, I like that you guys are flexible, and to put my racing organization hat on, I'm with Max, letting him race against at a competitive level. But even if you guys weren't able to fit his current situation into the class fray, he could still benefit by going out and starting last, working on passing all those other drivers. And he's a professional driver. He's going to keep himself safe. He's going to keep the people around him safe. But I could see his point as well.
Oh, yeah.
Where he doesn't want to have to do that.
He's, the bottom line with Max, he's very, very, very competitive. And that's how a lot of these guys are. And we cherish that situation, There's some, it's like, look, this is where I want to be. And there's some who say, you know what? I just want to be in the back. And this is good practice for me. This is a skill level set, But, you get that one, individual, which there's a lot of them, who are very competitive, and they want to test their mettle against the top. And, that's understandable. That's where they want to be, and they want to go after that. improve. They have the skills.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so there's someone on here, Pitster Pro, and they've made a couple comments, and they asked why it's not eligible to race in the pro class. And there's a couple reasons, but the basic reason as of this year, as the rule book's written, is it says in the pro class it must be a UTV that comes factory with minimum 2 seats. It could be a 2-seater, 4-seater. So that's the first thing. There's a couple other things in there about needing to have a co-driver, etc. We are open to an RS1 class, and Max, honestly, we're probably open to an RS1 pro class. The problem today is we have, and I know that you're interested and willing, so I'll count you as one, but we only have one person that's ever really presented the interest in having an RS1 class. It's hard for us to set it's hard for us without a benchmark to make that decision. And I'll admit we might be wrong in the decision as of today, right? And I guess my thought was you might have a lot more amateur type people in those cars because there isn't a lot of them out there right now. And that was kind of why we thought
there's a ton of kids that are under 16 that are racing those cars.
Right.
Like, it would be pretty difficult.
But it wouldn't. The thing is that won't qualify for the state.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. So I mean,
but
on the other hand,
my point is that when they turn 16, that's the car that they're going to race.
Right.
and that's the car they're in. Yeah.
So on the other hand, we've also listed, from the very beginning, is like, look, if we don't have a class and you bring enough vehicles, we talked about this 3, 4, 5 vehicles. We'll probably open a class for you.
Got it.
But you get one in and you're trying to fit them in, and then everybody else is worried and this and that and so forth. It's like Eddie said, it's a balance. It's a balance act and stuff like that with everybody. But we tell them, like, look, if you can bring 4 or 5 guys, we'll develop a class for you.
Hey Max, we didn't. I saw your mouth moving, but I couldn't hear you. The audio was pretty bad. Are you able to say it again? Whatever you were talking about?
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, whether it be the car, the driver, or whatever, it doesn't matter what car it is. If you put a good driver in any car, he's going to do good. You put a bad driver in any car, he's not going to do very good, So the car is not the deciding factor of how it's going to do. You got to have decent equipment, you got to have a decent driver. And I was going to say, if you say we don't have a benchmark, well, let's make a benchmark.
Yeah. Great idea.
Let's do a trial or something.
Yeah, well, let's you and I chat. I don't know if you want to try to come this weekend or maybe the last race of the year. It'd be neat to have any RS1, and I'm going to point my finger at you because you're on the camera with me, but get an RS1 to one of our races. Let's see how it goes. You know what I mean? In my head, and I could be completely wrong, in my head, I feel like you're going to blow the turbo cars away because we're so tight and twisty, right? So in my head, the smaller wheelbase, the smaller car is going to just kill it, but maybe not. I don't know. I don't have a way to tell Max. I mean, you do amazing things on a dirt bike in a car that I can never fathom doing. So it's hard for me to really to gauge that and know,
And I was gonna, when you told me you designed that other RS1 class, but we got to start in the back. I was gonna come out. I started getting my car ready, and then I just started thinking about how many close calls I had in the 2-seat car with lap traffic. And thinking like, okay, well, I got to start behind every single one of these guys, not just pass them on my 3rd or 4th lap in, because by the 2nd lap, you're starting to fill out the course. You're remembering the lines. You remember where you can go fast, and whether there's dust or not dust, you already know the course there. So you're pushing hard through the dust, and these other guys are not doing that because I don't know if they don't remember the course or what, but they just slamming on the brakes when they come to a wall of dust. And I was like, no, that's not worth it to me. I'm not going to tear my car up or hurt anyone else or whatever by trying to push through the dust like that,
I like that we are having this conversation. It's an open platform. I don't think we're going to get an answer tonight, Max, but I think that it's really cool for everybody in the audience to see how open you guys are and willing to be able to support the racers. Like, it's fantastic.
Yeah, no, and I've had this conversation with Max a couple times. I mean, I go way back with the Eddies. We've raced dirt bikes with them forever. So, and I like doing this slightly publicly because this is the truth, and this has always kind of been the way we've discussed it. No one's trying to put Max down, and I don't think Max is out here talking shit on DP4.
Yeah,
he wants to race.
Absolutely.
We're always open to talk, no matter what,
I'm happy to
good
do
or
this
bad.
publicly. Yeah, absolutely. So I think that we should continue a talk, and you know what? Especially if you're the only RS1, maybe we can work away. And
Dude, there's been so many comments. I guarantee he's not going to be the only RS1.
Yeah, and
Well, good. Tell him to sign up and give us a call.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll continue that discussion a bit more.
Come out, got 5 days. Get ready.
Someone asked if the current
Max,
class is
is your car
production or
ready?
pro. Hear that, Max?
Yeah, everybody's
Hey, Max,
got that same question.
Is your car ready for the weekend? Hey, Max, can you get your car ready for the weekend?
Yeah, come on,
Hey,
Max.
can you hear me?
Yeah, can you see it? He's showing it to you,
Oh,
Chris.
is it back there? Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a sexy looking car. Who built that thing?
Hey, so
You can
there's
see
no,
ours.
hey, so Ryan, you guys, can you start Max just maybe behind the last pro
I mean,
in front of the first amateur? Don't
it's a
start in the back?
it's a discussion I'm willing to have. I can't make that decision on air here without speaking to Steve and Tommy, but it's definitely a discussion I think we'd be willing to have, especially
Yeah,
if there's
absolutely.
only one of
Talk
them.
about
Yeah, and especially since you guys are going to have Max be the guinea pig and do the testing with him. Like I would prefer that you guys do that instead, because I don't want a bunch of other people to show up to the races and expect the same type of treatment, because it really needs to be vetted out before you guys let everybody else do it.
And that's a good point.
Max, let's talk tomorrow. Call me midday. We'll chat about it. And I'll talk to Steve tonight.
I don't want. I was watching some of the UTVs at Vegas to Reno race, and in my opinion, I don't want it to end up. I don't want your guys' series to end up like a Best in the Desert, somewhere where they have 30 different classes for the UTVs.
Somebody actually just brought up a good point too. Is like if the RS1 is racing against a normally aspirated 2-seater and they can't pull a seat out, then the RS1s are going to smoke them too.
No,
so there's a lot of other stuff.
We get a lot of that about the weight difference.
And at this point, for those of you watching, because it looks like there's about 70 people watching right now, there's no intention today to put the RS1.
There's way more people over here on YouTube too.
Well, we've got like 200 people watching right now. There's no intention today to put the RS1 cars in any of their current pro classes. They have their own class today, and where that starts, maybe you'll be up for discussion. But at least until
You're right.
And I'll use the word benchmark, and it's an honest comment to you, Max, and to Chris and everybody watching. At least until we understand how they operate in our series, we'll kind of go from there. Look, at Best in the Desert, it's a little bit different. You guys are going wide open down long roads where that car might not be as competitive as the big heavy turbo car. I don't know. And again, I'm not a racer at your guys' caliber, and I've never claimed to be that. But what I know is I know how to operate a race, and I know how to watch how the scoring works and how these things go. And that's why I'm willing to look at it and try to see what we can make happen.
Dude, I rode that RS1 on a motocross track. That thing was the funnest thing I've ever driven out there, man. It was like almost like a dirt bike with 4 wheels, man. So, hey, Max, I appreciate you calling in and expressing all this stuff. I think that's fantastic that they're able to listen to the racers and really give a good amount of feedback and even allow the opportunity, dude. You got to appreciate that from race organization.
Yeah, no, dude. If I didn't have fun at DP4, I wouldn't be beating this dead horse, right?
Right, absolutely.
I want to be involved in DP4. I want to bring my car out there and represent my sponsors out there, whether it's. And the only reason I'm beating this horse is an RS1. All I have is the RS1. I want to race DP4 because it's fun.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
That's a cool comment right there.
Yeah, that is.
Max Eddy, who's raced Dakar, he's raced all over the world. That's a cool comment. So I do appreciate
he almost won Sonora Rally in that bad boy. Hey, Max, keep that RS1 going, dude. I love that car.
Yeah, see you guys.
All right, talk to you tomorrow, Max.
Later, homie. Thank you. Chris, I think that was pretty cool to have.
Bye.
Chris, I think that was pretty cool. See you Saturday. Chris, I think that was pretty cool to have him come on and kind of give us a little bit of an understanding of how open these guys are to being able to accept other racers. What do you think?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, I would like to see what that car would do. I have no problems racing against Max. So, I mean, if you guys wanted to make something work, I'll start at the back of the Pro Turbo class, and Max would probably be, if you can put him up behind the Pro class, the beginning of the Sportsman class, that should only be like 5 cars, and then we can get a benchmark and see what's going on.
Yeah, we'll take a look. We'll talk to Steve tonight, tomorrow, and see where we're at, and maybe see if Max wants to come out, and we'll start with that. You know what I mean? So.
That's even like just as the family thing that we talked about, and Chris just offering to be a test guinea pig along with
target.
Max. Yeah, it's like chasing a rabbit or whatever you call it, right? But that is fantastic.
We all like the competition, you know. Everybody wants to see.
But and you're doing it because you want competition with Max, which is cool, right? But that in itself is such a full circle thing. Again, showing how much camaraderie is in your guys' series. That has to feel good.
And we had an issue last year. So the first year we had an RS1 class. We didn't ever have a single sign up, and last year we took it out of the rule book. And at the end of the year last year through COVID, something happened at the December race, and was it Snore or one of these events got canceled like a few days before the race. And so a lot of these RS1 people called and wanted to race. The problem is at the beginning of the year, I submit my rule book to my insurance company and they approve it as it is, right? So in that scenario, we had a rule book change that wasn't going to be approved in 3 business days time.
Right.
And so for this race last year, we couldn't get the RS1s in. So we did add them back this year. And this is kind of, and that was totally separate and before Max, but this is kind of where we're at today. You know what I mean?
I got you. And there's a ton of comments that you guys are more than welcome to read through at the last time. And some other people commented in saying they just caught some of the comments. After this video post, you guys can go back, look at it and listen to it and check out what the conversation was. We're not going to go into it any further because it was just awesome to hear that conversation. How open you guys were to it. Chris and Patty, I just want to ask you one final question. Are you guys going this weekend?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll be there.
That's not the answer I was looking for. I was looking for, yes, we're going to get the win.
Let me show you our car. Look at our car real quick. It needs some love.
I don't know.
A little dirty, maybe.
Yeah, I think it's all right. I think you guys can do it.
All right.
Really?
Yeah, I think you're good.
Three-wheel it.
And it'll only take you 10 minutes to fix. Come on.
There's a door and a motor. It'll make it.
I know Chris's dad. He could fix anything.
I do want to announce one thing while Chris and Patty are on here. Tommy, can you reach behind you and grab that little flyer I got?
I sure
that poster over there?
So we have 2 more races left this year. And hang on before you flip that around. Don't show the secrets yet.
We're not going to show.
So we have 2 more races left this year. And the first one is coming up this weekend, obviously.
I wish I had a drum roll button. Oh, that would have been so
fix
good.
That.
Do we have any buttons?
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, I got some buttons.
How about some clapping? There you go.
There we go.
How's that?
Nice.
All righty. So as the clapping comes down here, we have one last race that was scheduled for October. I don't even have the date in front of me because I'm looking at the new date, but the date's been changed.
It's the same weekend as World.
So there was a race scheduled same weekend as UTV Worlds, and we had an issue. So, and ironically, since we've changed this, the schedule for the Marines has changed. But working out of Johnson Valley, the Marines actually once a year get to take part of the land for 30 days' time. And we have to submit our paperwork more than 6 months in advance, and they have to submit their paperwork exactly 6 months in advance. So we scheduled our 6th round for this year, and then the Marines closed half of Johnson Valley down. So we have worked with the BLM to reschedule our last event. So, Tommy, you can flip that around. We'll show everybody.
Bum, bum, bum.
Watch the camera here. So, for those of you that were going to miss the race.
Let's put this over here.
Yeah, put it right in the middle here. Right at my legs here. So, for those
Cover
of
up
you.
your sandals.
No. Those of you that were going to miss the race due to UTV Worlds, that's all right. You're going to get the chance to come race with us November 6th out in Johnson Valley. That'll be the final race of the year. So, that's kind of some big news. I know a few of the guys, Colby and the Kellys and Chris and Patty here who are on us, we're all going to race UTV Worlds. So go race UTV Worlds. Maybe Tommy and I will come out there and support you guys. But you'll have a month then to get your car ready for our final race of the year, Saturday, November 6th. So big news, and we're going to share this socially after this tonight. But looking forward to not missing out on all our racers and letting the Marines use the land they need to use.
Hey, Patty and Chris, we were already talking about the flexibility and the way that these guys are operating their organization. For them to understand that the UTV racers are wanting to do their race along with these other races and to be flexible about moving the dates and talking with all the people that they have to organize with, that's pretty freaking awesome.
It's so awesome. We were just talking about it on the way home from Vegas to Reno. I said, the last DP4s.
Yeah, so her audio's cutting out.
Oh, no, what are we going to do?
We got Jesco Motorsports is
can you
asked
hear me?
yeah, it was cutting out a little bit, Patty, but Jesco Motorsports asked if you guys were going to be racing the
Okay.
Mint 400 as well, Chris.
Yes, we plan on racing the rest of the Best in Desert, the rest of the DP4 races, and
Somebody asked to put the sign back up.
Here, just put it right here at my legs.
Okay, awesome, man. Well, it sounds like we might see you at the UTV World Championship as well as the Mint 400. It'll be pretty cool. I think the Dirt Life's going to be out there. Tim Field says, nice job on changing the dates, so good job, boys.
Cool. So, I think that'll work for a lot of the guys.
Yeah, I think that's really cool to have that flexibility, man. Like, there's a lot of organizations that would just keep it going, and just try to compete with their competitors and stuff like that. So I'm glad that you guys did that, man.
Yeah, we had a convenient situation with the Marines, so it kind of worked both ways there, right?
Yeah.
But absolutely, we're stoked to have a lot of you guys that weren't going to be there.
Yeah.
Are now able to come to round 6. So.
Shows a lot for your guys' organization being flexible like that.
Yeah.
Well, anything else you guys got to say before we let you go, Patty and Chris?
We just want to say thanks to Tommy and Steve and Ryan. They're doing such a kick-ass job, and our whole family's having fun. Chris's brother's mother-in-law races with her sister.
Whoa.
Kim and Chris, and they kick ass at every race. They've been coming out for 3 years, and so our whole family's there. It's so much fun, and we just want to say thanks to you guys.
My brother's going to be filling in the next couple of races because my boy Jeremy's out of the country right now. So
for work,
my brother's the fill-in guy. He's like, I'll come wherever you guys need me.
Also a multi-time AMA champion now. So.
Yeah, dude.
We need to get George in the car.
Put two handicap guys in one car. I don't know how good that's going to work out.
Come on, Team Gim.
Dude, for real. Well, I'm happy to go with you guys one of these times for sure. Let's just get the schedule together, and I'll jump in with Chris, and we'll go shred.
Yes. Okay.
And then so after this race, we're going to re-prep my red car, and it's going to be up for sale. So anybody want a badass car that's ready to go racing,
that's one of DP4 championship.
DP4 legal.
Shortage right now.
Yeah.
That is true, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to pass this over.
Hey, Chris. Well, maybe you could share that when you guys do get it for sale. Maybe share it, and we could post it on our social media for the Dirt Life. A lot of guys always ask us, how do we get into UTV racing? And, well, now there's a vehicle for sale, and now there's a series that they can jump into. So that could be a good opportunity for one of our audience members to get into UTV racing. Kimberly Lynch said,
awesome. Yeah.
Kimberly Lynch commented in and said, we'll keep Nick away from the fire.
Yeah, we're going to keep him in the race car. That's what we're going to do. Yeah.
Yes, please.
He's in the car. He'll be fine.
Yeah, he'll be in the car this time.
That's awesome, though. We really appreciate you guys joining us, and I thank you for hitting us up after such a long day of work. I know you guys are busy, so thank you, Patty and Chris.
Thanks, you guys, so much.
Guys.
Thanks,
See you
George.
guys later.
See you guys later. Thanks.
We'll see you guys.
Thanks for the support.
See you this weekend. Look at what the phone was propped up on.
Transmission. Is that what it is? Oh, it's an engine.
A Can-Am motor.
There you go. Good job, guys. Way to use your resources.
Thanks, you guys.
No need for tripods at Blaze Racing Services.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
Thank you, guys. We'll see you later. Man, I think that's so cool, and you're going to see them this weekend too, so it'll be pretty neat. Was there anything else that you guys want to talk about going into the race coming this weekend?
Yeah, so it's going to be our last night race of the year. It's a 30-mile loop again. That's kind of our sweet spot, is 30 miles on the lap mileage, and we're doing 5 laps. We're going back to somewhere we haven't been to in a couple years. We know it as Charlie's Place, which is kind of a little more easterly in the Ridgecrest area, just a little bit off of Toronto Road. So it'll be a new look and feel for a lot of the racers that haven't raced with us since the first year of racing.
Oh, cool.
And we'll definitely be going into some new sections, too, that have been opened up for competition over there. Hasn't been open for years.
Long time.
So we're getting ready to go explore that.
So we're going to get some new places, hopefully some fresher trails. And I posted a picture earlier this week. Steve was out there over the weekend working, and he says a lot of this stuff has never been touched. So that's going to be pretty cool and exciting. And we're having a fun night again on Friday night at 8 o'clock. We're going to have our live draw up in the ghost town of Randsburg at The Joint, which is a bar that sponsors some of our racers, John and Stacy Conley.
Ooh, that'll be fun.
It was a ton of fun. We went there for the last race, and they were so welcoming. John Conley at FMF Racing, or FNF.
Yeah.
Friends and family, not FMF. John Conley has sponsored a band for the night up there at The Joint, so it's going to be a fun night, and They'll have some kind of food available. Just a really cool place. So if you can get out early,
Got a great atmosphere.
drop your trailer. It's 20 minutes down the road back up to Randsburg. We're going to have some fun up there.
Dude, it's getting me hungry and thirsty.
I know, right? Me too here. So it's just going to be a fun weekend. I'm hoping it's a little bit cooler than the last night race. And right now I think it said 106, which is better than 118.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dear Lord.
Well, I think it's cool because you're still offering the races for everybody. You're offering them a way to get out of the heat too, get in a cool environment and have some fun. I think that's really cool that you guys were able to do a few things and show, or at least show me a few things tonight. You showed how flexible you guys are in being able to change with the times. You had COVID flexibility, you have flexibility with Max, and you're having flexibility on the dates and the schedules and stuff. And that all benefits every single racer that comes out to the races. I appreciate you guys coming on the show to share all that stuff. But we do still have a couple more questions, if that's cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah, go for it.
So one of the questions was, can you give us a few favorite moments that you guys have had yourselves? I know that one of Tommy's favorite moments is probably going to be hanging out with all the people that he yelled at all day.
It's funny how they all remember me, but I forget. You yelled at me. Did I? Were you speeding? Well, no. Okay, all right.
Admission of guilt. But I know that you guys have some fantastic memories of the people that were at the series.
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of fantastic memories. Too many to count, but we talked a minute ago about the Conleys, John and Stacy Conley, and John and his good buddy Danny Ryder, who raced with us for a few seasons, had a little bit of a health issue, kind of like Tommy did, ironically. Danny and John came to our first ever race. They bought the action figures. Remember the movie action figures?
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
with Travis Pastrana's group, right? They had a car, a Polaris Razor, that they bought and came out and raced. And I remember he came out and did it. We didn't know who was going to show up or what was going to happen. And John and Danny came out in this car, and I mean, they were blowing belts left and right. They didn't even have it dialed, but at the end of the race, they were having such a great time. They were so excited to have like a local easy racing organization. There's only 5 people there. We didn't even know if we'd have a second race at that point.
I mean, I was ecstatic when we just had 5 show up. I would have been happy if someone just came with a riding lawnmower.
Yeah.
They would have had the best race in the world.
There you go.
But, with every race, the ground was awesome. It was a little bit chilly and so forth. But you know what? A race broke out within the race with Conley and Sean Bigme and so forth like that. And, against the Wildcat and the Polaris and stuff like that. That was an epic. That was a great race. And how, Sean, got the overall win, beating the Polaris. He wasn't as fast, but he knew he had to keep on going. He had to keep on running like he stole his wallet. They were going back and forth with each other. And so you watch this, and we're all good friends, and you're sitting there watching this develop. And then
Knockdown, drag out.
Oh, yeah. And it was just 5 guys, and it's like, it wasn't about money or this and that and so forth. It was just, the whole theory, that Steve brought into this realm, it worked. We all got together. We took taking our talents and so forth like that, and it worked. Everything worked. And we even had an emergency situation where we had one racer within the first lap call for a medical emergency, and it was like, okay, great, all right, let's go through the numbers. He wanted to get off the course, and it's like, no, stay on the course. I got medical people running backwards to get you, and it was his fiance or wife at the time, but she gets car sick.
Oh.
She got car sick, was passing out, throwing up and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But the young man listened to our instructions, and everything worked well. And from that point, I'm like, we're okay.
Yeah.
We're good. This is, everybody who was helping, all our volunteers and so forth. Everything
it really
was falling
has
in
to
place.
make you feel good to have that coordinated effort and to see a success rate come out of it. I mean, that's got to be fulfilling. I mean, when we're talking about these memories, I think a lot of our audience and even me expect it was when Chris crossed the finish line first and everybody was waving and yelling and screaming. No, well, that's not necessarily what goes on behind the scenes. Like the story that Tommy just said, that's a fantastic example of being coordinated and have a level of effort to make sure that everybody's safe. And those memories will be in that racer and his wife's lives for the rest of their life.
Yeah, in the background, people don't see a lot of the work that's going on that we all do. But as we're sitting on top of our hill or observation posts and stuff like that, and we're listening to the radio chatter. I just love. I could just hear everything going on, and we listen to other people's channels when they're talking, and you hear the battles.
Yeah.
And then my favorite part is the next day of cleaning up the course, and you're looking at the course, and you're like,
that's where it happened.
That's where it happened. That's where that battle was at, right there.
Yep.
I wasn't there. I didn't get to see it.
Like seeing the blood on the ring.
Oh, yeah,
in the ring on the MMA fight. Yeah.
That had to be epic.
That's
that had
so
to be epic.
cool.
And so I get jazzed. That's why I say my favorite part is, the cleaning up in a sense. And you just, your imagination runs away with you when you see that.
Yeah,
it's funny because I was going to say one of my favorite parts, and absolutely my favorite part at the end of every race, I love to go like campfire hopping, And I see Ryan Slesser on here. He's been chiming in all night. Like, I don't know Ryan Slesser from the next guy except that he races with us, but some of my funnest nights have been sitting at the campfire with him and the Kellys and going to the Team Nevada campfire and Desert Vets. Desert Vets will stay up all night long, and it's such a blast. And
there you go,
it's just so fun to, like, campfire hop at the end of the night and hear everyone's stories and hear, they're talking shit on the things they didn't like, but also stoked on the cool things. And it's so fun as a promoter to be so in touch with the people and be a part of it like that.
Yeah, because I go to the Kelly brothers, it's like my first thing I always do is I go to the Kelly brothers after we're done. I'll have a beer. It's like, how was the race course? Oh, Tommy, that sucked. But, they tell you all this stuff. I'm like, well, give me a beer and tell me about this story. And they go, oh, that was great, that was bad, or whatever. And then, I would go down to Desert Vets, and I'd go get myself another beer.
Yeah.
And I would listen to those war stories and stuff like that, and you would hear everything from their group. And you just take that all in, so you can't take it personally, but you just, the feedback, positive or negative, it's still feedback, and you apply that and you keep that in memory.
That's a recipe for growth.
Yeah, and I love it. And it's like, and I think going back to the earlier question we were talking about, it's like, what do I do to prep for a race? Well, I sit and binge watch all our videos. From Ryan does a great job on commercials, but I'll sit there and binge watch other racers' videos.
Yeah.
I'm watching the course, I'm watching the ribbon, I'm watching this and that.
Speaking of, we got some footage there you can show too that some of these racers put together while we're talking about it. You know what I mean?
So I'll go back and sit there and watch that, and just grade myself. It's like, oh, we need to do this better. We're looking at the reflectors. Are they, close together? Are they too far? And so forth like that. Is there enough ribbon and direction and arrows? And I'll watch that, And
is that something that you want to have? I think you had said that we were going to have another person call in, or no?
Oh, I don't know who that is.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Yeah, no.
That's okay. Yeah.
Is that Mike?
What we're watching here is
we're looking at some live footage from one of the night races last year. This is on board with Tyler Stewart's car. So we're going to loop it through again here. This is off the start line and out here into the dark. And so you can tell here, I wanted to show this because you could see the reflectors. And when it's tighter, there's not as many of them. But when he hits a valley crossing, you can see them all the way across. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is pretty cool.
If you go over to the next clip there that you've got highlighted, this is some drone footage I got from the last race. And why I wanted to share this is to kind of show, it's hard in a video to show elevation changes, but this one really does show this downhill, and you can see the dust off in the valleys. So we're definitely not racing fire roads. We're definitely racing on real, two-track, what I call it, dirt bike trails. This is like a dirt bike race in a car is really what this is. So
yeah, it's pretty neat.
It's pretty cool.
See. Yeah, and these guys actually, they come up on each other. You got to go through the dust. Like, there's a lot of technical stuff that's happening right here in this video clip.
Yeah, because I love going back and watching Stewart's videos, and Chris Blaze puts out some good stuff, Tin Fields and so forth. I mean, there's a whole bunch of guys in just different styles, music and so forth. But, I sit there and watch, and I'm grading myself on that.
What's this clip talking about right here, Ryan?
This is something that Liquid Molly put together, Jason Hess did, and just showing some lifestyle stuff here at a DP4 race. You know what I mean? He does a great job with these edits to showcase the cars, because one of the cool things about this is the cars are all so cool. And right now what I'm seeing is 120 cars on the start line, you know what I mean? But it's neat to see the difference in every single car that's out there. The car behind us versus the 25 other cars in the shop here. Everyone's different and unique, and that's just part of the fun, I love it.
You guys must see a lot of different cars that are out there on the races too, at the races too.
We do,
especially with the classes that you have, rally class, all that stuff, right?
It's been fun to learn about the different manufacturers, and
you learn a lot from the racers, like Kurt Ashley. We call him the gentle giant. He hates that because everybody's got to tease him about it.
Big guy,
kind guy, very knowledgeable, but he's deadly. He's definitely deadly. Don't take him lightly out in the field. And he's like Chris. He plots. He plots his race. It's not how
Big
fast.
thinking guy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
When you sit and talk to him and you watch the gears in the back of his head kind of spinning in a sense, you know that, he's 100%, he's thinking about racing.
Yeah, exactly.
But he's also someone you can go talk to, helpful and so forth like that. And, we have many other racers. I wish I could list them all, or, who do the same thing and try to help, the ones who are just new.
Yeah, it's fantastic, man. I just love the vibe of all the stuff that you guys have talked about. It really makes me want to get out to the races myself.
Yeah, we need to get you out here for sure.
And I wish so bad that they had the Tesla internet already out so that we could broadcast live from some of these events and stuff, man. It's so hard to broadcast live. Maybe we will do something though. Maybe this year or next year. That
maybe get you out to the last one.
It'd be awesome.
Yeah, just come out and hang out. Like I got a pretty stacked schedule, man. The show is booked over until January, and it's just there's so much going on. I might even actually announce at the UTV World Championship in the Mint 400, so it'll be a cool thing. I'm gonna go spend a bunch of time in Texas with the Texplex guys. So. It'll be neat to be involved with you guys as well because I'll be able to get to see everybody's passion for the racing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, once you go out and walk around and you start talking to everybody before the race and during the race and after the race, you'll pick up the vibe, and it's like, this is it.
I'm already picking up the vibe, man. It's super cool to see. Yeah, and Ryan Slesser just said fireside bench racing always makes the race that much better.
It really does, yeah. We used to call it overhauling the campfire, right? You're the last one out there at the end of the night, and I've definitely done that a few times in my day, and I will hopefully continue to do that for a very long time.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like Braden George, 21, commented in and said, "Been thinking about doing the race, doing the races. I don't know what his spelling is, but what are the requirements for your car to be able to race?"
Yeah, so that's a loaded question, but basically
maybe an entry level.
Yeah,
class.
so as an entry level racer, if you just bought a car, either new or used, it needs to be a major manufacturer UTV. So you can't. Someone made a comment about a home built. Unfortunately, we're a production-based car racing series,
right.
So it's got to be something a major manufacturer has made. I think we said 500 units a year.
Yeah, so right? You could even home build a Polaris Razor.
Yeah, you could build as long as it started as a Polaris Razor.
Right.
You could home build it the way you want to.
Make your own cage or whatever. Yeah.
But so to come out and race with us is at the very bare bones minimum. I'm happy to have this conversation off air with anybody, but you have to have the safety equipment. You have to have minimum 4-point seat belts. You have to lock the seats in place so they can't move forward and back. If you have a hard impact, you don't want your seat rolling forward, right? You have to have a secondary locking mechanism on your doors. So
my suggestion would always be for anybody that wants to get into racing like this is go out and check out a race first. Go and hang out and look at all of the things and do a little bit of research, just like I did when I first started racing UTVs. And then I approached, Chris is a good example. He's selling a race car that was already built. I went and bought a UTV from the Rockstar Energy UTV Wolfpack, so I knew it was legal. I knew it was a good car. And I just got in and I started practicing, and then I went to the races because I was new. I was a newbie. I was green. I didn't know what was going on. So maybe a good car like Chris's that could benefit you, and then you could get out there and kind of get your feet wet. But definitely go out to the races and check it out. Talk to these guys and see what they think, and they'll give you suggestions on what class to go in.
Absolutely, and I always tell people to come out and watch your first one.
Yeah.
Right? Come out and watch your first race.
Or come out and volunteer and be a part of it. And you'll get to actually have the best seat in the house.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We're always looking for help, always. So.
Exactly. So, you can do that and hang out with them, and it's always good. I mean, we already said, even if you're at the races and you're not racing, you can go hang out and bench race at the campfire all night, man, because you'll learn all the factory traits there.
Absolutely. Sure.
I'm really, really excited to see what the growth of the series has with the flexibility that you guys have and understanding of what the racing community potentially wants to go in the future. I think you guys have a lot of room for growth.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you saying that. And I really think we are going to hopefully continue taking this thing to the moon, man, because it is fun. We're having so much fun.
And to go back to the question of the gentleman about what he needs, just being the race referee per se, we ask everybody, read the rule book, please.
Yeah.
Read the rule book. Understand it, have your pit crew and everybody else read the rule book. But on the other side of the coin, too, after you read the rule book, you can call Ryan or I or text us, email us or something like that. If you have an area that you're concerned about or need to know about, we're available 24/7. I mean,
and even a lot of the guys that have been on the call with us or in the comments and stuff, everybody's willing to help, man. You'd be surprised at how many people will come together and get you out to the races. It's pretty awesome.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm glad that you guys are going to be racing this weekend. Where's the event at again?
Ridgecrest.
Okay.
Out by Ridgecrest, yep.
And what day is it?
Saturday night. Starts
Okay.
at 7 o'clock.
Okay.
So signups close. It's online signups only. They close at noon on Friday.
Gotcha.
And then we have on-site signups. You come through registration and then get your tech inspection form.
Okay.
That opens at noon on Saturday.
Sounds good. I think it'll be a good race, man. And I mean, I know it'll be a little bit hot, but it's going to be fun for people to be able to get out there. And there's a lot of guys that need to do some testing after the Vegas to Reno race that they broke some parts and had some failures. And I know there's a lot of big races coming up. And if they want to go out there and test their cars again, it'd be awesome to be able to go out there and do that for those guys, just like Chris Blaze is going to do. Let's see here. Oh, I only got one more question before we get in the rapid fire Q&A.
Well, can I say one thing real quick?
Yeah.
You know, going back to the start when we're talking about sponsorships, you know, and Kenda Tires. So when we started trying to, you know, tally up and pitch our view of what we wanted to do, you know, we called Kenda Tire and said, look, this is what we want to do, grassroots type of thing for the beginner and all this good stuff. And before I even finished, they go, we know where you're going with this. We want to be involved.
Wow.
What can we do? We want to be the title sponsor. Like I said, I didn't get it finished. They said, we're glad that someone is doing this.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
And then it's like, you know, you're helping with the growth of the race and stuff like that. And Kenda Tire, you know, what are we in year 3 with them?
3 with Kenda Tires, and every year they've given us tires to give away. 60 tires.
Yeah,
a
Ryan
year.
gets to give out, was it usually 2 full sets of tires and so forth like that?
Yeah, we haven't even touched on that. I don't even know if you know that. We give away so much sponsor-provided product at every race.
Yeah, let's talk about
So we
that
give
because
away
that means a lot to the racers.
2 sets of Kenda tires, a set of Method race wheels, Redhead valves. They make I think I saw a quick fill. There's one right there, actually. They make that little quick fill thing, right, to fuel the race car. So they give away a dump can set up at every race.
The whole dump can and everything.
Wow.
I mean, so much stuff. Every class winner gets a gallon of liquid moly oil.
Trinity Racing comes out with belts and so forth like that.
We've got Motion Pros give away tire pressure gauges.
And we got the
all
first
of this
aid
stuff,
kits.
And all of this stuff goes to the racers or the
all to the
participants?
racers.
Yeah, we don't keep any of it. We don't sell it. You
That's
know, trying to recoup.
fantastic.
Everything that our sponsors give, you know, basically goes directly to the racers. I mean, even Cottage Inn over in Randsburg, you know, they give a
Hard Luck Award. So whoever's had a hard time,
really?
we give out a Hard Luck Award every race. And something else, one of Steve's other great ideas is we came up with the DP401k.
Oh, that's a great one.
So what we do is at every entry to every race, $20 from that goes into a pot.
Nice.
And at year end, we split that out over 3 people. We draw names out of the hat. So you earn an entry to that just by signing up for a race. So
that is so
if
cool.
the season ended today, before the last 2 races, we've got about $7,000 to give away.
Look at that.
So you split
And
that up
it's
3
like
ways.
20 out of the pot, but we also match it at the end of each race. So if there's like $400, $500, we match that and put that into the pot. And then at the very end, at the last race, as long as you did one race or you
got an
did all
entry.
5, you had a fair chance at the lottery. It's not one person, too, but it's 3 people who get to split that pot. You know, so that's, you know, either Christmas money or I got to fix my stuff.
So we always talk about this on the show, like how can you get more people to come to the races? We talk about contingency money. We talk about supporting people more. You guys are already doing that.
We're trying to. We're trying really hard, yeah.
And then we had Kawasaki jump in.
Kawasaki came in this year with their contingency program, $1,500 if you win your class.
Really?
So they have stock and production 1000.
Did it bring out any more Kawasaki?
So there is
we
4,
got some coming out now.
There's 4 Kawasaki Terexes entered this week.
There you go, man.
So that's pretty cool. That's
that
really
is super
awesome.
cool.
And
And
then we have a John Conley running around. Now he's like, oh, wait, there's going to be more Kawasaki's? Yeah, John.
Rick Smith, who's been chiming in all night, he's won some money, and so it's been pretty cool. You know,
I
how
think
he
it's
stepped
great.
up.
I mean, like, there's only 4 right now, but like that's exactly where it starts. Like that's exactly
That's a manufacturer company jumping in at our level, year 3, coming in with this, you know. And don't get me wrong, we send out, you know, like everybody else trying to get sponsors, you know, Can-Am, Polaris, and so forth like that. You know, and then Kawasaki just comes right out of the blue and says, we want to be part of this situation. But the contingency is like, holy smokes, it just, with each of these sponsors, when we were going back, you know.
That's amazing.
Did they raise us up to another level?
Yeah.
Well, Rick Smith, who's been on here, he had 2 fully race-built Can-Ams. He got rid of both of them, bought 2 Cowies.
Yeah. I would have done the same
money.
thing.
I mean, these guys are doing this.
We
and
did
it's
the
working.
same thing in amateur motocross.
Yeah.
Like we just rode whatever had the contingency, not what the best one was.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, look, the $700 he gets for second place or $900, that's not going to buy you a new car, but that's certainly going to help a lot.
It's going to pay for some of the races
on your $300 entry fee, right?
And that shows where the racers in return are supporting our sponsors. You know, when I talk to, you know, trying to get a sponsor, I go, look, this is a circle of life for my sponsorship. I put on a race, they break things, and then they come and buy them from you, and then they come back and they race again with me. I go, this is a circle of life of racing, you know, with, you know, between a promoter and a sponsor.
Yep, absolutely.
You know, so our racers see that, you know, these guys are supporting us, then they're going to go purchase from them. It's a no-brainer type of thing. You know they go break the thing, you know, Method Wheels or whatever, or whoever it is, Kinder Tires or, you know, Trinity Belts and so forth. You know, they see that the support's there, so that, you know, that's where their money is going to go.
Right. And you guys are doing a fantastic job if you're having that kind of stuff happen. Well, I have two more questions left.
Go for it.
My main question is, do you guys want to do a rapid-fire Q&A at the end, or would you like to play Are You Smarter Than a Third Grader?
I don't think I could live it down if I wasn't smarter than a third grader. So.
Oh, they're hard questions, too. Yeah. I failed at like 90%.
I think I should stick with this rapid fire.
Okay, we'll do rapid fire.
I'm liking the things on here.
Why can't we do both?
All right, maybe I'll throw in one Are You Smarter Than a Third Grader question.
There you go. Ryan will answer that one.
Well, knowing that you guys are doing a good job, having any business, what are the goals that you guys have for the racers and for the organization in the upcoming years?
Well, location, they say is everything.
Okay.
You know, with that, trying to stay, I don't know how you say it, you know, putting on quality races and not trying to grow too fast, even though it does grow and you have to ride the wave in a sense, but try to keep that quality in there is one of the things that we try to really do. In the future, we're trying to stay to our roots. That's, you know, when we get sponsors and sometimes they come in and they want you to change this and that, and I go, that's not us. That's not the path we want to go. Maybe we'll meet full circle later on. You know, maybe this is not the right time for you or us and stuff like that.
Thing.
Yeah. And so when you see it going, it's like, oh, you know what? I do catch their direction. You know, we want to be different. There's so many different, you know, from Best in the Desert to Legacy and stuff like that. But we're not trying to be them. They're already established. They got their setups and how they want to do things. You know, so we're picking our side of the market to get that capture of the entry-level guy in the grassroots. But when we did that, we were surprised by, you know, all the experienced people jumping in. You know, it was like, wow, okay. You know, we thought we'd just have, you know, a whole bunch of beginners, but, you know, the coin flipped.
Yeah.
But with that being said, we're still trying to stay to our focus of, you know, for that entry-level guy, even though we got seasoned racers coming in and so forth. So we're trying to, you know, stay on the path of staying true to what we're wanting to do.
Right. But you got to make everybody happy, right? Because if Max Eddy comes, he's going to bring a bunch of other people. I know,
right.
You know, so it's going to be cool to have all that stuff.
I think my goal would be to have, and I have at least 3 this weekend, 3 to 5 new racers at every race.
Right.
People that have never tried. So I have 3. Like people I've been texting all day. I just answered an email sitting here.
Yeah.
You know, that have never raced before. Maybe they came out, watched the last one. Maybe they've been watching online and come out here and try it. You're going to have a blast. It's fun.
I think they definitely should, man. And because I lived in Arizona for so many years, I didn't have the opportunity to be able to go to a DP4 race. I just went straight to the UTV World Championship with no practice. I had no idea what was going on. And I wish that I had a platform like your guys' to be able to go practice or to be able to go understand what desert racing was before I went there. It would have been fantastic. So I applaud what you guys are doing big time.
Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I think it's great. All right, well, before we get into rapid fire, do you guys have any other stuff that you guys want to talk about before we dip out?
You know, I think we just want to thank the sponsors. I know we've talked about them, and really Kenda and Method have been great, and Rugged Radios came on board this year.
Oh, yeah, Rugged was great. I mean, that was one of those other things you were looking at is like giving your racers support. I mean, and like I said, we had a bunch of racers who didn't know much within communications or installation and stuff like that, and Rugged started coming out, and they just filled that void, and they stepped up, and they batted out of the park. You know, Richard and HR, you know, helping out. It was great.
Something we talked about earlier was, you know, having Liqui Moly and Jason on site at every race, and it really helps when the sponsor, you know, wants to contribute, great, but when they want to be there and interact with your racers and help your racers, and Richard from HPR and Rugged, they really do that. It's been pretty cool.
It is cool. Well, it looks like Martin Gomi is going to see you guys on Friday.
We will. We'll see him Friday night in town, so that'll be fun, and little party at the joint. You know what I mean?
There you go, man. Even if you don't get to race, you can party at the joint with everybody, talk some stories, right?
Absolutely.
Well, thank you guys for coming and hanging out with us. We really appreciate it. It was awesome to be able to give the audience an understanding of how they can either go out and race their side-by-side or what they can expect from you guys, which is a whole lot of effort in my book. So, all right.
And one last thing before you do that. So Tommy's got a new toy to play with this weekend.
What is it?
Yes. We actually picked up a new sponsor called Screaming Monkey Speed Control.
What is that?
That is a monkey with a radar gun.
So we picked up a couple radar guns, and we're going to watch pit speeds now, and with a big display board, so you'll have the wall of shame if your name's up on there.
That helps with our sponsors and stuff like that.
Get a GoPro out there or a phone with a battery so that they
just see everybody.
comment it.
Because we came up with the idea, and when we were talking with the sponsor of that, we kind of keep him in the shadows because, it's a radar gun and all that good stuff. But he's a real good dude and so forth like that. But, we were running crazy, because we were calling it, Screaming Monkey Speed Control, and then we were like, oh, we can make T-shirts. Oh, no, we can make it the sticker of shame that I got caught. Or, because, penalties are going to come out, for the longest time. We've always wanted everybody to have a good time. And so, like, when they said I was screaming at them, that's true. But, no one was getting dinged. But, it's gotten to a level, where the racers are expecting the integrity of the race. And, if they don't see the enforcement, of rules, but they don't see what's really going on in the background, that we give a lot of people warnings. And so we said this year, no more. So there's going to be penalties and stuff like that.
It's like you said at the beginning. If you're going to race, you just read the rule book. Like, I've always been a huge proponent, no matter what happens, if you're going to race at a racing organization, any organization, Lucas Oil Offroad when it existed, Champ Offroad, Best in the Desert, Score, any of these, just follow the rules.
Right.
Like, and you won't get a penalty. At the Score Baja 500, I think 93% of the drivers got penalties.
Yeah, usually when it's like I'll go through and Best in the Desert, you have to use something for a guideline. So I went through like 2 years of their scoring and their penalties, and there'd just be volumes.
Yeah.
5 minutes for the stop, passing the stop, speed and so forth like that, and of course.
It can't just be a free for all. I mean, you
can't.
safety.
So there has to, safety, but also that the racer sees that you're trying to keep the integrity of the race. They don't see really a lot what's going on in the background,
right.
But they see it on the sheet. So it's not like saying we're going out there to put heads on posts just to prove a point. We understand the integrity of the race, the series, the rule books and stuff like that. Have to be listed and so forth like that. So that's coming, and we knew, changes are coming. The rule book, like I said, once again, will never always be the same every year. There'll be changes, improvements, and reductions. So
I do agree with you, Ryan. That's going to be a fun toy to play with, though.
Oh, yeah, we got a big screen, so when they come into the pits, they can see their.
We got a few of them, so it's not like it's just one spot.
Yeah, it's not one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no passing on the road crossings.
There you go.
And stuff.
So mind your speeds, racers.
There you go.
It looks like Ryan Prosser is going to join you guys out there as well this weekend. All right, you guys ready for this rapid fire Q&A?
Go for it.
All right, first question: hard shell or soft tacos?
Always soft tacos.
Soft taco flour.
You guys are both going soft tacos. Chicken or asada?
Chicken.
Asada.
Ooh, I'm kind of feeling asada right now too. Usually I would choose chicken. Okay, I'm throwing in a "Are you smarter than a third grader?" question.
Go for it.
All right.
What is the fastest animal on land?
I feel like you're supposed to say a cheetah.
Not an attorney. I'm going to go with a cheetah.
The fastest land animal. You guys both got it right. Woohoo!
Nice.
One
Helped
for
you
one.
on that one. All right, good.
Dunes or the river?
The beach.
Oh, you're going to the beach. Look at you, OC boy.
Yeah.
Where are you going, dunes or the river?
Ocean for me.
You're going to the ocean too?
I'm a scuba diver.
Oh, there you go. You see a lot better stuff in the ocean. Three-wheeler or quad?
Quad.
Three-wheeler.
You're going three-wheeler?
I miss those.
Death Machine?
I rode the Bosmos
I remember when
quads
the
once.
Odysseys came out.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
So did you guys see? Did you guys see the guy in the 200X that just finished Vegas Arena? Or what?
Yeah.
200X, was that what
Pretty
it was?
wild looking, yeah.
Dude, that was crazy. Like, he was a beast. I can only imagine how tired that son of a gun
Those
was.
things get so squirrely at high speeds.
Yeah, and they're so hard to handle.
Yep.
I mean, you could have the suspension revalve, but it's still not much.
Yeah, because there's totally difference from being on a track and being out in wide open in the desert are two different
On a
things.
three-wheeler.
Oh yeah.
Colby Quentin. I don't know how.
Benjamin, yep.
Yeah, he asked, and will the radar guns be in the middle of the track, in between the yellow and green flags you guys have out there?
So they're definitely going to be in the pits, and they might be at one or two of the road crossings. So
yeah, so you'll
slow
never know.
it down. At the road crossings, you got to slow down. So slow it down at the road crossing.
Just remember that the 15-mile-an-hour rule starts before you get to the yellow zone. So don't come in the yellow zone at 50 miles an hour. You got to be at 15 whenever you hit anything that's a speed control yellow flag area.
Yeah, so just follow the rules.
Yeah, just follow the rules.
And go to the driver's meeting so that you can hear all the rules.
Yeah.
All right, another third grader question. Who was the inventor of the telephone?
Bell.
Yeah, I was going to say Bell. I don't know.
Yes, there you go. Alexander Graham Bell. Dude, you guys are 2 for 2 on these third grader questions, man.
We cheat a lot.
All right. No, because I didn't show them to you guys.
Oh,
so.
that's right. Yeah.
We didn't get those.
Pizza rolls or jalapeno poppers?
Pizza rolls.
They both sound pretty amazing right now, actually.
Well, the poppers, they got the cream cheese. Then I'm going to go with the poppers.
You know, cream cheese sucks. I'm going to go with the pizza rolls. Pizza rolls.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
All right, let's throw in another third grader question here. What is the fear of spiders known as?
Arachnophobia?
Arachnophobia.
There you go, man. You guys are 3 for 3 on this.
Nice.
You guys are nailing it.
I've seen that movie.
Good job. Favorite
Sci-fi.
movie?
Oh, God.
You guys got to have a favorite movie, man.
You know, it was always The Truman Show growing up, but there's been so many
that
great
is a good
movies
one.
lately. There's been so many good movies lately. I don't know.
Mine's True. I'm old school. Maybe I'll show my age, but the original True Grit.
Oh, that's a good one, too.
What's
yeah.
True Grit?
That's
There you
sad.
go.
You know, George is thinking the same
Not
thing
bad
of
for a
all.
one-eyed fat man.
I actually saw it. Well, I didn't watch the movie, but I saw some previews for it, and I remember thinking, like, that's right up my alley because I feel like I have True Grit. And so I wanted to watch it, but I never got the chance to. So, fun fact: George hasn't had TV since 2008. So,
Shit.
yeah. Let's see here.
Probably a good thing.
Liquid Molly Power Sports says, "Great show, guys. Thank you very much for the support."
Yeah,
so,
thank you, Jason. And team.
Thank you, Jason.
all right. Favorite movie? If you could have any superpower, what would it be?
Easy. I know what mine is. What's yours?
Now, what's yours?
I'd be able to fly. Flying
You're
is
going
cool.
flying? You're going to go fly,
Absolutely.
guy?
Invisibility.
You're going invisible? Is that so you could catch people speeding?
No, so I can run through naked through a chocolate factory, not get
Oh,
caught.
there you go. So you can just eat all the chocolate you
That's
want.
right.
Okay, here. What weighs more, 1 pound of water or 1 pound of ice?
Trick question.
There you go. Look at you, buddy.
I'm still going to go
I got
with
this
water.
third grade thing. I went to college.
All right. Hook me up with your answer then. What weighs
you-
more?
They're the same. They're both
Okay.
1 pound.
Answer is correct.
Nice.
You went with water. Actually, that's a correct answer as well because they both weigh the same. So it doesn't make a difference. But okay, most memorable race.
Most memorable race has got to be the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
It's got to be the
DP4?
first one in the rain.
The
You know,
fir-
every desert racer wants it to rain in the middle of a race, and it poured at that first race.
Really?
With
Yeah,
5
the
people
first
there, it
race.
absolutely poured. So, yeah.
Zach Queries, I don't know how you say his last name.
Heroes.
Definitely need radar and the road crossings. So it sounds
It's
like you guys
coming.
are
Yeah,
It's coming, yeah.
you'll be seeing it at the road crossing. We just won't tell you which one.
Netflix or YouTube.
Netflix.
Go on Netflix.
Yeah.
Have you seen that F1 documentary on
You know,
Netflix?
I've heard about it. I need to watch
Oh my
it.
god, it blows your mind,
Yeah.
dude. It's so cool. I mean, being racing fans all together. Oh man, Tommy, you would love it too, dude. What did you pick? Netflix or YouTube?
Yeah, Netflix.
You
yeah.
got Netflix too. Favorite snack?
Favorite snack?
Yeah.
You know what? Right now, it's peanut butter pretzels.
Ooh, I
Peanut
had
butter
some of
pretzels.
those. Those were so
But I'll
good.
take it a step further.
Are
Trader
they
Joe's.
those Snyder's ones that are filled peanut butter pretzels? Yeah, those were good.
But Trader Joe's has some right now that are chocolate dipped. That are
Oh, that's next level. What about you, Tommy?
Bueno.
What's that?
It's kind of like a, those chocolate wafers,
Yeah.
but it's a chocolate wafer cookie with chocolate on top of it with a little bit of caramel in it.
Oh, that sounds actually pretty good.
My son just introduced me to that,
Okay.
and so I went out and bought a case for him.
There you
Well,
go.
I say for him.
All right, let's do another third grader question. What was the first animal to go into orbit? I'll give you multiple choice. Cat, goat, or dog?
Dog.
Dog?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
guys, dude, you guys are
I didn't know
nailing
that. I
these
guessed
third grader
that one.
questions, man.
I guessed that one. but-
I don't know if you guys took the test before.
Was it
Like,
Sputnik? What was the dog's name?
who knows?
Was it
man?
Sputnik was the
it?
rocket. That was
that
the
the
name of the
rocket?
rocket.
Okay.
Let's see here. Supercross or motocross? I know you guys are big desert guys.
No, I'm going to say Supercross because, I mean, I've worked some of those events. I can appreciate the marketing that goes into it. And I like the visual of Supercross.
Yes, the same thing was in
The marketing,
Endurocross,
yeah.
but Supercross, yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah, Endurocross. That's the one I'll
Yeah,
pick. There you
that's...
go.
there
That's
you
the only
go.
one I've
As our
done,
club,
so-
the 100 MCs, we would go to...
You had a good time doing it then?
Didn't say I had a good time. Jimmy Lewis had to pick me out of the water. But, I mean,
shit.
I've done Endurocross.
How was it? Because it
hard.
looks so fucking gnarly.
You know what? So Jacob Argybright, when he was like 16, he did it, and me and his mechanic were like in the background with him, and he did literally almost every race one night in Vegas.
Really?
Right.
And it was like he barely made the last chance qualifier, and he did that, and he barely made the main. He did like I think 16 races
Dude,
in
how
one
was
night.
he not just completely
Dude, I did
Gumby
the very
afterward?
first time I made one, maybe not even a whole lap during the first practice, and I came off. I'm like, dude, I'm so sorry that I pushed you. I couldn't move my arms.
Yeah, I
Like,
could only
couldn't move my
imagine.
arms. You know,
It,
so
it looks so gnarly, man.
it is. Yeah.
Let's see here. Let's do another third grader question. What did Columbus discover while sailing the ocean blue? What did Columbus discover while sailing the ocean blue?
Well, he discovered America, but there was somebody already there, right?
Yeah,
That's
so
the-
it's a nursery rhyme, but
yeah,
you're right.
1492.
Yeah,
He
Columbus
sailed the
sailed
ocean blue.
Yeah,
It was a
America.
courageous thing to do, but someone's already there, right?
No, you got it. It was America. At least that's what we like to think, right? Who knows? But yeah, we weren't there, so if there's no video, it didn't happen.
Right. I didn't see it on YouTube.
How many sides does an isosceles triangle have?
This is also a trick question.
Yeah, look at this guy. He comes up with
Yeah.
all the answers.
What do you think
to
it
the
is?
trick
What is
question.
I don't know. I've had that word before and I forget.
How many sides
Isosceles.
does an isosceles triangle have?
Don't have a clue.
All triangles have three sides, bro.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there you go. Boom.
Boom.
Dude, this smart guy over here, man.
I was good
Hey,
at math.
He's
If-
just not here for good luck.
If Ryan ever he like has a bad weekend, doesn't want to work with you guys the next weekend, I'm gonna hire him over
Yeah,
here at
right?
the Dirt
Yeah.
Life, dude.
Come
He's
answer
good.
all the questions.
Yeah, exactly. All right, what other form of racing would you guys like to try? And this is just personal if you want to go race something. We know you guys both have a racing background. You could race speedboats, you could race monster
Yeah,
trucks,
I've been racing.
F1.
You know, I've been racing sailboats a lot lately. I really love that. But something other than that,
Oh, like what are you talking like the HP Hewlett Packard Oracle sailboat kind of like that?
I race
kind of
like
gnarly?
regular human
No, I'm
sailboats.
talking like if you have
yeah,
a
that'd
dream.
be pretty cool to do a foiling boat
Dude,
like that.
those guys are gnarly.
One of our friends was just in the Olympics in a foiling boat. It was pretty fun to watch him. We stayed up till like 2:00 in the morning. And Riley, the scoring of those races is so weird because it's your cumulative points for the whole week. And in the like gold medal match, he finished second.
It's not
But he
just
didn't have
point A
enough
to point
point-
B.
No, they go out around like marks. They put inflatable things out, and you go back and forth. It's pretty cool. Sailing. I love sailing. It's fun.
That sounds like a gnarly sport,
And
man.
sailing is like 2 minutes away from my house, so I can do it and be home on a weeknight.
Yeah, there you go. What about you? What other form of racing would you like to try, Tommy?
I would love to try, but I'll never see the day. Is aircraft.
Oh,
Vintage aircraft.
like the
you know,
Red Bull
Reno.
Air Races thing?
Oh, yeah. You're just watching these guys flying and pulling the G's and so forth like that.
Oh, we would all throw up in like 2
Yeah,
seconds.
no, that's...
I work at an airport, and I mean, I've done my fair share of flying. Steve, our partner, is a pilot. He's got an airplane, but I'd love to do some of that acrobatic flying. That'd be
Yeah.
fun.
All right, another third grader question. Where does paper come from? Where does paper come from? This is not a trick
I
question.
want to say a tree.
Trees.
Yep, there you go. Dude, you guys are nailing these third grader questions. Hitting them out of the park. All right, who is your celebrity crush? And you got to have one.
I know I have one. Does anyone watch the? Oh, you don't have TV.
Well, I might still know who they are. 'Cause
So there's a
I
show.
do have
well,
a phone.
I mean, I know the person's name, and I'll tell you that. But there's a show right now called The White Lotus on HBO.
Ooh, I don't know if I've seen that.
Alexandra Daddario is by
Oh,
far my celebrity
Yeah,
crush.
I've seen her. Yeah,
She's hot.
Yeah, and she's actually a good actress too. What about you, Tommy? Who's your
I'll age myself again. Marianne from Gilligan's Island.
Oh, I've seen that show.
Yeah.
I saw that once.
Yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
you're really impressed now.
That's your celebrity crush. Didn't she have red hair?
No, that was Ginger.
Oh, okay. So it was the
She
other
was-
one.
Yeah, she was the short little brunette.
All right, let's see here if we can do a. All right, let's do a kind of a math question here. Old Farmer Tom gives you 5 apples 3 times over. How many apples is that?
15.
Dude, he's nailing them.
Yeah.
Ryan's just nailing these
Yeah.
things, dude.
What?
There you go.
All right, last question of the night in the rapid fire Q&A, boys.
All right.
Chips and guacamole or French fries and ketchup?
Oh, man.
That's a hard one.
That
Yeah,
depends where the French
It really is. Chips and guacamole. All right. How about this? After the races on Saturday night or Friday night. When is it? Saturday night?
Yeah.
What would you rather have? Chips and guacamole or French fries and ketchup?
Chips and guacamole.
I'm thinking chips and guacamole because when I'm waiting until like 3 o'clock for Tommy to tow the last guy in, they're still going to be fresh.
My fiance,
the French
Susan,
fries get all gross.
She makes the
best guac,
best guac in the world.
There you go, man.
Chips and guac, man.
We're going to have her on the show just because I'm so into guacamole.
Right?
Oh, absolutely.
All right, boys. Well, I really appreciate it, and I would appreciate it if you guys could thank your sponsors again and give them a little bit of a plug.
You know, we should have been prepped with a list of these here, but let me try to go down the list. So big thanks to Kenda Tires, our title sponsor for the 3rd year in a row. This year, our presenting sponsor is Method Race Wheels.
Yep.
Want to give a shout out to Motion Pro.
Yep.
Help me out here.
Motion Pro.
Redhead Valves. JE Pistons.
Oh, yeah, JE's been great support.
Jason and the boys.
Jason and Liquid Molly.
Liquid Molly.
We got Desert Craft Air Filters. Mark, who's raced with us. He's up in the high desert.
That guy's been with us since the beginning, too. He was a big believer.
Come on, Tommy. Help me out here.
I'm sure you guys have more sponsors and stuff.
Oh, yeah, tons of sponsors.
I know that you really appreciate all the people that show up, too.
Yeah, Savage UTV. They're down here in San Diego somewhere, actually, right?
Oh, are they?
So they are, yeah. They do a bunch of components.
Like we said, Trinity. And, man,
all of our racers, I really want to thank everybody. It's been so fun watching the comments. I love doing these live things. I do a lot of live stuff at DP4.
Perfect.
And a lot of it is downtime. And so I'm just BSing with people, trying to keep anything going. And there might be 3 people or 100 people watching. Yeah. But it's fun to read the comments. So I thank all the people here and Colby and Zach and Tim Fields. I see Ryan Slesser. It's been so fun tonight. So
there have been
thank you everybody for all your support.
There have been so many people that have been into the series and at least willing to give you guys just attention that you guys deserve, man, because you guys really do. You guys are doing a fantastic job with the whole series and making a big mark on the racing organizations and just helping people out. You know what I mean? Like, it's cool that you guys are able to do this and give people the platform to be able to come race their cars.
Yeah, we really try hard at that. So I appreciate
and we got Firehawk, Mercy Air. Mercy Air was a great support for the rock crew, the helicopter ambulance. They were great. They jumped in and helped support the rock crew.
Yeah, that's cool that you guys have so many people on board. All right, well, we're going to thank our sponsors as well. We want to actually, before we thank our sponsors, we want to thank you guys. You guys are our lifeblood, so please keep listening to the show. Slide into our DMs. Send us messages. You guys have been really, really good to talk to, get advice on how to participate, advice on how to give the shows back to you guys. We have the sponsor deals page on thedirtlifeshow.com, so go check that out because that's giving back to you guys. You guys can save money with all of our fantastic sponsors. Shock Therapy, thank you guys very much to all those guys. Use the code DIRTLIFE at shocktherapist.com or, shocktherapyusa.com. Thank you to the guys over at Zollinger Racing Products. You can use the code TheDirtLife at ZollingerRacingProducts.com. Save a whole bunch of money over there. They got fantastic products if you guys are going to head out and do some racing with the DP4 guys. Thank you very much to the guys over at CryoHeat. Josh and his team jumped on, so thank you very much, Josh, for your support. Thank you guys at SolderWeld. Use the code DIRTLIFE at SolderWeld.com. And, of course, thank you to the guys at KMC and EFX. Like I said, EFX is going to be giving away some paddle tires coming up at the Sam Sports Super Show. So pay attention to our social media, and we'll give you guys an opportunity to win those bad boys. Those things are insane cool for your UTV. But like I said, thank you guys very, very much. We are always open to talking to you guys during the week and obviously during our live shows. You can listen to the show anytime on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, all those bad boys. Next week, man, is going to be a pretty big milestone for the Dirt Life Show. We got episode number 100. 100. I didn't even think that was possible.
That's wild, man.
That's good.
It really is, right?
Long time coming.
Those mile markers.
Yeah, it is cool. That's why I always ask people what their goals are, right? Because we got to have goals. And this was one of our goals, was to get to episode 100. And we're doing it next week with Todd Zaccone and his son Jacob from the new Evo Power Sports location in Phoenix, Arizona. We're going to go out there and talk with those guys. The reason that we chose them to do the 100th episode with was because that's why I started the show, The Dirt Life, because my father and I and my whole family spent time in the dirt doing that. And he's now starting that with his son, just racing UTVs instead of dirt bikes. So I think that's fantastic. And that's why we had such good conversation talking about all the family efforts that are at your races too. It's just really cool, man. Thank you to all the guys over here at IMG Motorsports for letting us have this fantastic show here. You got to tour the shop a little bit.
Pretty
I think
cool.
Nice,
Yeah, big
very
place.
nice place.
Yeah, they do a lot of fantastic work here. And like I said, thank you guys so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. Yeah, that's it, man. Thank you guys for living your dirt life with us. You got anything else?
I want to say thank you so much to you. Like, you do a badass job, man. You guys,
Thank you.
If you knew his resume, it's pretty freaking cool. So to get to sit here with you for a few
Appreciate
hours
it.
like this, we have a few goodies for you and maybe
Whoa,
some
look
for
at all
your
this
friends,
stuff.
a bunch of DP4 swag.
Wait,
So
what
if
are these?
Oh, these are just some samples of our arrows. You can take those home if you want to
Look
point
at
the way
these.
in.
Hey, so if you guys ever want to know what get a little bit of an advantage out on the race course, this is what some of the markers are going to look like. You don't want to see this one.
Nope.
You do not want to see this
And
one.
you want to slow down when you see this one.
What is this one?
This one's
Oh,
a
yeah.
problem.
Watch out for that bad boy. So, yeah, these are cool, man. These are really
So,
cool.
Yeah, right on. You can keep some of these. I thought we'd show them off. And here's a bunch of swag from DP4. So
Whoa, look at all that.
right on.
Dude,
Nice.
thank you so much,
Thanks,
Ryan.
George. Cheers. This
Really
is a blast.
appreciate it. Thank you, Tommy.
All right, my brother.
This
There
was
you
an
go.
awesome show. All right, guys. Well, now I have some new gear to wear this week. I appreciate it. We love all you guys. We really appreciate you guys tuning in. We will see you guys on Thursday. We have a show with Kristen Matlock on Thursday. She just did a San Quintin ride down in Baja, giving back to the
Yeah,
orphanage.
I've talked to her live a couple times at our races. We want to get her out to one of these. So tell her
Yeah.
I was calling her out on that.
All right, sounds
Yeah,
good. Or
call her
maybe
out.
we're going to be on Instagram on Thursday. So
Yeah, I'll
if,
log in. I'll be
yeah.
in the desert. We'll log in and see you guys.
Thursday at 5:30. So, yeah, we'll see you guys next week, or actually see you guys on Thursday. Thank you guys very much for tuning in. Good night.
Thanks for listening to The Dirt Life Show.